What is going on, guys? It is the Kai Beam Podcast, episode 2 of season 2. I was about to say episode 34, but yeah, right. Anyway, um, yeah, man, we don't got a whole lot of topics, but what we are going to touch on is the finale of What If. Just my own thoughts, really quick, kind of lukewarm, not gonna lie. But I'm trying to pull up the other things here. We were gonna talk about ah. So I mean, I feel like we kind of knew this was coming, right? Agatha Harkness, she's getting her own show
I didn't
apparently.
know it was coming.
So
This is new
I
to
mean,
me.
I kind of figured, to be honest, like just because like she had a lot of characterization in WandaVision, so you
That's
know.
true.
But we're definitely gonna talk about the Dave Chappelle, his last special for Netflix. That was fucking awesome. I finally watched Star Wars Visions. That was fucking cool. Dragon Ball finally released a trailer for the new movie coming out.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Don't really like the animation.
we'll
I'm,
go
I'm
into
gonna be
detail
honest.
about that. We'll go
I'm
back
not.
and
I'm
we'll
gonna
go into
be,
detail.
yeah, but
Cause
that's just a
I,
few things.
yeah,
I don't want to start.
but I
Um,
always start with the Scarlett Johansson thing. Kind of get that out the way,
oh,
cause I completely forgot
oh,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah. So like ScarJo basically got her settlement with her little legal battle with Disney. I'm trying to see how much she got paid. I think it was like 44 million or something. No. Johansson was paid 20 million
20 million.
for a role. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, good for her. Um, I don't know what that exactly means. Like, if like that relationship is just like completely severed and she's never gonna appear in MCU shit ever again,
No,
or
that's dead. She basically got handed a $20 million severance package. That's
yeah,
that's done.
I
yeah,
mean,
that's
I
crazy. I
mean,
mean,
her entire role is already over in the
but
MCU, so
like,
why does she care anyway?
it would be
Yeah.
cool. Like, well, more so for like Secret Wars shit. But I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter, right?
Bro, she's pretty much outgrown that role now. She can do
Yeah.
whatever she want to do now. Like she has her own, I think her own like production company too, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah,
she don't really need Marvel and all that crap
I'm not saying that. I'm just
and all
saying,
that crap.
just in terms of like the Secret Wars story. I mean, like like everyone
Nah,
fighting.
she's good. She's good. She can do her thing now. I think like her stories like as much as it should go. It's already wrapped up, and I think I like the way her character went out. I don't
Yeah,
need to be
I'm not
seeing
saying
her
I
coming
didn't. I'm
back
just
over there
saying it would be cool to just as a
because
like whatever.
because whatever happens, if they bring her character back, they're not gonna do her justice
Well,
anymore. So it's just better for her to be.
when I say bring the character back, I don't mean like in universe, because obviously like we have Yelena Belova, so it's like she's obviously in Black Widow. I just mean like in terms of a cameo, like how we know eventually RDJ, we're gonna see him in Secret Wars probably. I mean, that's probably the only time we're gonna see him again. Probably same thing with Captain America too. I don't really foresee us seeing Steve ever beyond that. So but
I mean, I know I said it like a couple podcasts ago where I said, she's not hurting for money. If she can play a Japanese girl in a futuristic Japan,
Yeah,
she's
she can
fine.
play any character. Yeah,
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
pretty
she'll be
sure,
all right. She'll be all
sure,
right.
sure.
You don't want to
Yeah,
talk
I never.
about people who might not be okay. Is the girl who's playing as Shuri? She keeps fucking up with her
Yeah, I heard about
anti-vax thing because she just keeps talking and talking about that. And I'm pretty sure like Don
Yeah,
Cheadle reprimanded her and said, "Yeah, you need to stop that because she's about to mess up her role because
right.
Black Panther 2 is still an iffy situation and she just keeps going.
I'm
Like
not
I don't
gonna.
know why she
Yeah,
just can't
I'm not
stop.
gonna
Like
lie.
Probably
I
kill her
saw
ass.
that.
She about to get the John Boy. Yeah, get treatment. She's playing, but she don't know.
oh yeah, she is about to
Yeah,
get the
she
John
really
Boyega treatment.
doesn't. Like, I saw some shit about it. I was just like, what are you doing? Like, first of all, you try to do it on social media, which caused you to delete it anyway. So why the fuck do you think the reception is gonna be any different when you're saying it on the set of your fucking movie? And it's Disney, my girl. Like, they're definitely gonna get you the fuck out of there pretty quickly.
Yeah. It's
Like, you
it's
should
not it's
probably
not
stop.
looking it's not looking good for her. I think they might actually just be like, you know what? It might be a
We don't,
cousin or something.
we don't need a bad press.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
I saw a line of
Because
movie.
Disney really don't like having bad press. Like
No, they
they
don't.
they do not like that shit at all. They would cut people loose really quickly just because of them bringing bad press to like any of that brand.
Yep. And I
So
mean,
yeah.
as likable as her character was, I mean, you could just do the Don Cheadle thing, just fucking recast her, because
yeah.
it's funny. It is funny to think about when you go back and you watch the original Iron Man's fucking Terrence Howard, and then in Iron Man 2, it's just Don Cheadle. It's like,
I mean,
It's
they kind of did him dirty, but
they did
what
they
it's
did
the
they
understandable
did do
anyway.
him dirty because he was the biggest actor at the time, and then
Right.
because of the fact that Robert Downey Jr. made such a good performance as Iron Man, they're like, yeah, why don't you give your money to this guy right here? And he's
Okay,
like,
I didn't know
come
that.
on, man, like you can't do that, man. Like
That
I
is
said next time, baby. Like
Yeah, that next time didn't happen.
yeah, it's
He shot
like
just stole that that Iron Man suit and ran with it.
they should have
But
just
too
said
late for
maybe.
him.
They should have left that shit at a maybe because that thing aged like milk right there. Every time I watch the first Iron Man, he says
Yeah.
next time. I'm like, ooh, should have left that shit alone. So,
Shot took his chest and stole that Iron Man suit while he had it going and going
yeah,
on it good.
you know for a fact he's
Ugh.
never showing up. Like he's never showing up in any Marvel product
fuck
because of
no.
what they did to him. But yeah, he might. Letitia Wright might end up getting that same treatment right there.
I wouldn't
Which
be surprised. Yeah, because like I said, I saw that story, and then I also saw a headline too. I didn't add it in there because I didn't know if it was like credible or not. But I swore I saw something where, I mean, there were rumors about that like swirling around like a lot that Killmonger was gonna come back in Black Panther 2, and I mean, we literally saw him in What If, so it's like,
yeah, no, I was about to put it on the notes too. I was like,
I
yeah,
mean,
guess what? Nigga's not coming back.
safest choice if they want to pretty much do that
It's not
anyway.
gonna
So
happen though. It's not gonna happen. No matter what universe apparently he's in. It will. Okay, I guess we can get into like the what if thing because like it ended lukewarm like what Beam said, but it's just like we kind of saw it in a very predictable way. Killmonger can't be trusted for shit. He can't. He
no,
somehow
he
he
can't.
he turned Ultron. He turned Ultron into like basically like an adamantium like suit, except it's vibranium. And then he was just like he had a convincing argument. He was like, "Hey, we could fix our stuff," but it's just like I already knew in the back of my mind. I was like, "Yeah, his fixing is basically putting white people in cotton fields. Like that's what he wants to do." And it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, this guy is not going to be reformed, not whatsoever. He is not coming back for Black Panther 2. They're not going to yank him out of another universe and be like, yeah, pay your pay for your penance. No, he's going to do the same shit.
right. I mean,
true.
obviously they can't bring that specific Killmonger back. They got to bring a Killmonger who's
Who's not
not
a
that
complete piece of
extreme.
shit.
Yeah, and
I don't
just
I don't think
base.
they're going to bring a character back twice cuz if they would have did that, they would have done it in What If.
Yeah, that is
To
true.
just
And
to just yank that and have three different versions, it would be confusing cuz
I mean, but that's it. That's the thing, though. Like, they still got a chance to do that if she keep going about her real life. Uh, you know, like not separating her real life and her movie antics and whatever.
no, no,
Even then,
we're talking about Killmonger. What nigga? What?
no, he
no,
bait. What?
I'm talking about like because when they made What If, they still had a plan of making Shuri like probably a permanent Black Panther is what I'm talking about. But now that she's
Oh,
going around doing stuff like that, they could always go back to the reverse or like they board and like redo everything and say, well, we're gonna eventually end her character and just have somebody else take up the mantle of Black Panther.
I just think it might just be a recast because too much stuff has kind of already happened, and they'll probably, if she keeps doing it again, I think they'll probably just recast her and just be like, okay, now we finally got things in order. Don't say shit. You end up like the last girl. You better not say nothing dumb, because you are our last hope. Because we can't bring back Eric Killmonger over here. Because and I just want to say that like they haven't even established like what sort of universe is, because they always say like Earth 616 or something like that. And what if they never talked about it? They never established what sort of Earth it is, so it kind of doesn't
Right.
help in their favor
because
to bring in
because they do
multiverse of
that
people.
on purpose though, because
Yeah,
they
but
don't
it's
want to just
stupid.
straight. That's what I'm saying. That's a Marvel thing. They always do like the most cop out stuff and just take the most vague and ambiguous shit. That's why every time you guys always get excited about, hey,
I
they
wasn't
connected this
excited
shit
for What If
in the
because the
soup
fact that it's just a
in the
cartoon
future movie.
show. No, like I
They're
was.
not
I,
I,
I
they're not
was
connecting
looking
shit. They're
for the
just doing stuff.
looking
Huh?
forward to What If because I thought it would just be different, kind of like how that's why I was the most excited I was for any of the Marvel shows was Loki because I knew that was
yeah,
going to be the most different from everything else we've seen thus far. And before that, I would say WandaVision was a close second, but even that, I was like, from the jump, you could kind of tell, yeah, probably not going to be exactly what we thought. So, and it ended up being that anyway. But yeah, it was Loki for me. That was most intriguing,
I
and it
kind of
ended
had
up
a.
being the best in
I
my
kind of already
opinion.
knew what WandaVision was gonna be like just from the vibes of it, and I kind of had the
Right.
same
You
feeling
remember
for
I
What
told you
If.
guys not to have like this big X
I
Men
Right.
didn't have I didn't
expectation
have
and
an
Yeah.
all that shit.
expectation
Like,
for it, because the thing
Yeah.
is just
Izzy,
like
I agree.
I I knew what it was gonna be. The only thing that I feel like was dumb, and everyone can agree, is that if they were going to make a joke about Evan Peters showing up and then title him, that was a dumb thing right there. I don't feel like that's an expectation on us. You put that in there, the first thing we're going to think about is, oh, they're connecting the Fox universe right there for that split second, but they didn't do that, and it's still to this day not even explained where he came from. And they're trying to say, oh, like she doesn't remember her brother like that. Bullshit, bullshit. Like they did that as like a joke, and I mean it's, yeah, you're right. It is kind of vague. They do very vague things, and that's on them. I don't know why they don't do that.
no,
They've
bro, they do that shit on purpose. Like it's just late.
It's
I
for
call
the
it. It's
it's
just
for the
it's called it.
casual.
It's
It's for
called
the
it. In
casual
my opinion,
audience.
it's just lazy writing. In my opinion, because like
Yeah, it's for the
every time
casual.
they do stuff like that, then they always come back in future movies and try to fix that mistake, and everybody just eat that shit up and say, "Damn, they're playing this shit out so back." No, they didn't play shit out. They just couldn't bother writing an explanation for it. So they would just
I
like
think
write
What If is
like the
probably
most
the most
vaguest
poor
way.
planned property that the Marvel MCU has probably done in a while, because I mean they've worked on this before or after kind of Loki, or actually they worked on this before Loki, because
Yeah, they worked
animation
on
takes
it.
a
They've been
long
working on it for a
time.
while.
Yeah, because animation takes a while to do.
And you could tell they did because there was inconsistencies in there, especially when it came to those stones.
Well,
You know, being able
that's the other part, but it's just the fact that we didn't see like Kang at all, and there's no connection to Loki, is because they were deciding as far as like what they were gonna do for the villain. But like I said, like for me, and it's agreeing with Beam. It's warm. It's lukewarm. It's hot. It's hot dog water to me, because towards the end, they kind of made everything set it up, but they didn't even set up for season two exactly, and they didn't even really explore the multiverse and
Be-
anything like
Again,
that.
it comes back to them being lazy and just
It
like
is
that.
lazy.
Like the audience, as the audience, have given them too many free pass on that shit, and in essence, they're just giving us subpar fucking product now because the sense that every time we give them an excuse, oh yeah, Marvel is setting this shit up like the best way possible. They always do this. They're gonna explain in the future. That's kind of like a lazy shit right there because now that people give them too much pass on this shit, they're not gonna give you quality content. Like they will just write half-ass story and not explain nothing to you and just tell you, yeah, we're gonna explain it in this other future movies. Like, why are you doing that? You're
I
now
think
giving
it,
us a lot of incomplete shit now instead of like actually having a coherent story that actually has a good a good foreshadowing to it. Because you could do a good foreshadowing without having to explain too many shit. I
you
mean,
can.
you can explain stuff and do a good foreshadowing without having to like give away too much answers. But they're not doing that at all. They're just going about it half-ass and just and every most of the time people will just give them like a free pass and say, yeah, Marvel always does that. They're gonna give us answers later on. You'll see. But no,
I mean,
that's just them being lazy.
the only thing that they did, and I heard someone say that they felt like the Disney Plus shows are not really required to watch because admittedly they do all their setup with the movies, like
Yeah,
because the
and they
fact that
said that
it's the
themselves
most,
too.
yeah, it's the most, it's going to be the most watched thing because of the fact that it's not subscription based. You go to the theaters to watch it, and like the other stuff, the Disney Plus shows are more so like in depth, kind of like, oh, if you want to see where this character comes from, well, go ahead and watch this because, I mean, the only thing for
But
What If that we got is the fact that we know that Captain Carter, like these are what some characters from Secret War might show up. And I know Captain
right,
Carter is definitely going to be one of those characters that will show up. And
right.
that's the kind of thing they explored. But it's just towards the end, what they could have
But
done was just be like, okay, this is what the next big bad who's like multiversal level could be like. That's all I'm wanting.
but that's the thing though. Like that kind of lazy attitude is now translating to that most of that movies now. Like I would say again, take Shang-Chi for example. That's another cop out in my opinion right there because like why would you name a movie Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings and not explain anything about the fucking Ten Rings?
Yeah,
Like
Izzy, I started to understand what you were saying, and you are right about that because it
like
is kind of like they only
complete
ever allude to it, and then like when they're given like the Mandarin's history, they're like, yeah, he got it from a cave,
right.
maybe he got
Like
it from here, and it's like they never actually
you
answer. It's
went an
like okay,
entire movie that is like almost
uh,
2 hours long without even giving us any detail about a movie named Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. No legend at all. Just some vague, stupid explanation that has
They
nothing
gave
to
you the
do with
legend
anything.
part. They just didn't give you like the
yeah, well,
actual
yeah,
source.
But
actually, correct.
that's
They
the thing though.
legend.
If something is called the legend, in essence, it's gonna explain what the legend is. That's what it's called, the legend.
They gave
I
you half. They gave you half of what you wanted. They explained the legend, but the the fundamental understanding of what a legend is that it can have multiple stories because no one understands the truth. That's why it's called a legend. But it's like what you probably wanted
but
is like
it's a
an
crap
act.
legend.
No, I mean no. It's a legend, but it's just like you didn't get the full truth that like of a full explanation of what they're supposed to do. Which I agree. I mean, I didn't watch the movie still to this day, and I mean, I might watch it through other means, but like,
Because and what pisses me off even more is because after like the movie ended, then they did the entire Marvel thing and just like throw a little knock of extra credit scene in there. Like, yeah, this is gonna be happening in the future movies. Like that always like I know like Marvels always have end credit scenes and they have become notorious for that, but after a while, like don't let that like affect the writing of your storytelling now. Like it's starting to just get really annoying when they do stuff like that.
I mean, it's possibly because of the fact that they're really trying to set up. They're trying to really connect the universes because, like I feel like
They are, but
phase four is like the bumpy road before we get to phase five because by phase
Yeah,
five,
because I mean,
that's when you're getting
yeah,
X Men, Fantastic Four. It's
yeah.
already established.
Yeah, because we're just kind of getting like the I don't want to say trash characters, but characters that you don't necessarily because like no one knows who the fuck the Eternals are, and I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure no one is hyped for that movie. But I'm gonna see it just because like I'm assuming they're gonna go over like the celestial like hierarchy type shit and like maybe sow the seeds for like mutants, maybe. But yeah.
but that's why like when I watch this movie, I feel like most of the time they don't even know what the hell they're trying to set up. Like with the Ten Rings, I don't even feel like the people who wrote that movie actually even know what the hell the Ten Rings are. It's just like they haven't like they're like we haven't thought about it, so we're just gonna be as vague as possible and just have this movie happen around Shang-Chi just to set him up as a character. Then eventually in the future, wherever we are ready to take this, that's when we're gonna go into detail about it. Kind of like a cop out writing, in my opinion,
yeah.
because like they don't like every time I watch these movies, I feel like most of the time they don't even know what they're trying to set up until like later movies and when they finally get like a picture of what they're trying to set up, then they bring it in here act like they plan this shit out all along. But most of the time they don't even plan this shit out. They're just planning it out for the current movie and that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe.
It's very hard to tell. I feel like honestly after phase 3, it's just and all the things that they're trying to do, it's a lot, and a lot of it's gonna come off as bullshit until like people get used to it because, um, and I mean if you guys already watched the last episode, I'm going into like Venom spoilers. Like it really doesn't make any sense how Venom just got picked up from his universe. I mean I get it, Doctor Strange did his magic stuff like that, but it's not gonna make perfect sense. And
Nah,
I
that's why
mean,
you just can't overthink it, honestly. Because
yeah,
the main thing that because it is kind of like who did I hear say? I think it was Rob because he was doing his talks about how the Venom stuff in general and how it just the actual Venom movie kind of felt like it took a back seat to the fact that Venom is now in the MCU. So it's like it's almost as if they were just banking on that alone, which is like, okay, Sony, that's cool, I guess. But even in that, I've heard that they said that they're not going to do Spider-Man v Venom anytime soon because they still want Venom to have doing his own thing, which okay, that's cool, I guess, but nigga needs to get his spider symbol already, man. Come on.
So I think they pretty much learned from like this. Is it what is it with Andrew Garfield like the Amazing Spider-Man like not to set shit up way too fast because they realized like they learned from Marvel like playing the long game with their characters like more beneficial than
Right.
just jumping and making a team up right off the bat.
Right, because I
And
mean, even in
go
that
ahead.
Venom, I was not to cut you off. I was going to say, even in that Venom movie, they were kind of setting up the fact that Null, the symbiote god, is a thing. So like, eventually, we're gonna get to that, but like, that's not going to be for like a long time.
Right.
That's all.
So now they learn a lesson from all that shit and play long game with all that characters now instead of just like, hey, we got so many characters, let's just toss all of them in one movie and have fun with this shit. They,
Right.
I
they
mean, and
realize that
Spider Man is
that
not
isn't
something
making
that
money.
you can actually rush either. Because I always said that Spider Man needs a Harry Potter like series where it's like you can get. I think you could easily get 9 movies out of that, out of Tom Holland, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's the reason. Like he looks like a teenager. He's our age. He can do that shit for 10 more years. He's only gonna be 35. Nah, you got it. You got it.
Yeah, and
He
plus,
looks like he could be
if
on
they're
the
doing that
CW.
thing, yeah, if they do that thing where he's like aging, and he's like in college or blah 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 going on, right? I mean, that's believable. And then maybe it'll get to the point like how it is in the games, right? Where this is a very seasoned Peter Parker, someone who knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And that would be cool to see.
Right,
You know,
because with the Tobey Maguire one, like he could only do a high school thing for like
one movie.
one movie because like he was already way beyond the age of that. So
It
even while
was.
playing a high school person, it was still like weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he looked like he was 22. Everyone looked like they were in their 20s, and they just all sucked
Right.
at school. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, Toby is always gonna have a special place in my heart, but God,
And
man, it's just
Andrew Garfield as Spider Man, they just didn't know where to put him.
Yeah, dude.
no, he
They
didn't.
couldn't
The
pick
one thing
where
I
they wanted
just
him to
really
be in high
didn't
school,
like with
college.
those ones was like the fucking when they were ever do like the Peter Parker shit. This nigga's on skateboards. I'm like, all right, like this nigga's not supposed to be
It's
cool.
because of the fact that during that time it was like
That's a hippie
they were
moment.
trying to modernize it where they think like all
Right.
the awkward kids like skateboard and stuff and they're all like 5'10" or some shit. Like I don't
Right.
know.
He was the cool nerd
I mean,
or the cool hacker guy or whatever.
yeah, I'm
He,
not
he,
gonna
he was
lie.
being retro.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like they're doing all these spin-offs and stuff like that with these shows, and to be honest, I'm not gonna watch majority of them.
Nope. I
Whenever
mean, even if I
whenever they
watch them, it's
do,
gonna be something like once they come on streaming service, that's when I'm gonna watch it. I'm not gonna go in theater to watch all these movies because it's just ridiculous.
well, I
Most of the
mean,
time you
yeah, like
go
I'm
and
I'm
watch it, it's
talking
gonna
about
be
like Agatha the
disappointing.
Harkness. Like I'm probably not gonna watch that just because of the fact that I really had no interest
I mean,
in
I
that
didn't watch it
character.
because like I
I
found
actually
her
like
I
the
found her
character.
comedy. I don't really care about her character, but I find her comedy a little hilarious because she has that like kind of
She's a
Deadpool
bitch.
meta
She's a
meta shit
bitch.
going on where she always breaking the fourth wall. So I find her got kind of comedy always hilarious. So I
I mean,
may
like
actually
that's
watch it
cool and
again.
everything. I mean, I'm just speaking like for me personally. Like, I mean, I'm just not into like magic like that. Like now that Marvel's kind of establishing like the different types of like I guess energy sources or just things that people specialize in. You got your tech niggas, you got your wizards and stuff like that. I mean, Doctor Strange might be like the only one that's probably interesting to me because they have like cool effects and stuff like that. But unless she's involved with the X-Men, yeah, no, I don't. The X-Men is the only thing I'm really thinking about, and maybe Fantastic Four. I don't want to see H Department. I don't want to see I don't want to see AIM or nothing like that. Like I don't want to see none of that shit. And they got some
Right.
superheroes that we have never even heard of.
Yeah. True.
But yeah, I give What If a 6 out of 10. 6, maybe a 5.5, just because it just irritated me how they had it set up. Because like I just feel like if you just keep reiterating the whole like Infinity Stone thing, ah, no,
I give it a 3.
that's fair. Did you even watch it though?
I
No,
watch
he
every
did. He did.
episode.
He did.
Oh,
I give it like a 7.
that's your
It
go-to.
was
Every
alright.
time you get
Yeah,
this
because
nigga's
like it's not.
go-to.
Yeah, because it's like I don't think it was complete garbage because there were some episodes that I actually liked, but I don't think it was like the best thing I've ever seen. The 7's like average on my scale anyway. That's just me. But
That's fair.
yeah.
I
Because
just yeah.
in my opinion, like that entire What If something, like the only reason they actually worked is because like we have like about 10 to 15 years of Marvel shit going on. So like they already are banking on you being like familiar
The
with
character.
everything, yeah, with the characters and everything going on in the Marvel universe. But like let's face fact, most of that shit wasn't even storytelling. They were just showing characters doing stuff, and that's it.
I mean,
There was not a lot
there's
of story going on in
the
there.
reason. I mean, the reason why I gave it like a 6 out of 10, or I'll just say a 5.5 out of 10 is because the fact that they kept reiterating the same dialogue from the original movies, and then they're just like, oh well, this is like a different timeline, so like there's a chance they might say the same words. That's horrible
Exactly.
storytelling. That's bad. Like that's bad writing
And
right
that's
there.
the
Like
point I'm trying to make. There wasn't much story going on. They
like
just like copy and paste shit
I literally
over and
hated
over.
how when Captain Carter was about to nosedive into the bottom of the ocean, before she even did that, you have Natasha saying the same shit. She's just like, there's this guy over here that just probably wants to get that flag, and they're having the same conversation. Like, are you kidding me? Like, oh my gosh, that's so bad. I think the only people who had original dialogue was
It's
probably
party
Thor,
tour. Yeah, party tour.
and Black Panther.
Yep.
Or Star Lord,
That's about it.
Black Panther, because that like they had the most original shit. I mean, maybe not, maybe Gamora too, and like Eric Stevenson, just because of the fact that like he's all about reverse racism, I guess. But like he wasn't saying the same shit like Captain Carter and Natasha. That's the thing that got on my nerves. I hate when they do that. Like that's what I feel like was lazy. And I also thought it was just kind of funny that like they were so much in a rush they couldn't even put in the 10th episode with Gamora and Sakaar,
Yeah,
Iron
which is
Man.
weird. Yeah, which is how the fuck would Gamora and Iron Man end up on Sakaar at the same time? That's interesting, but
I mean, I guess
okay.
it can. I guess it can happen. I mean, I don't know. I just wish they explored it. Like I would rather prefer them to do 45-minute episodes where they can go and do like world building to explore it, like the differences and stuff like that, because it was just half-assed to me. Like, oh, we found Hydra Stomper Steve over here in a refrigerator. Like,
Yeah, I'm pretty
they
sure with that, are they basically saying this nigga's gonna be Winter Soldier or something?
No, that is
Because
what they're saying. He's Winter
yeah,
Soldier Steve Stomper. Like that's what he
I don't
is.
I, I don't know how that's gonna work. Like
I
Because
mean,
because
how the
they
hell is this How the hell is this guy even an assassin if he's running around in that bulky ass stupid robot suit
No,
anyway?
no, Izzy. I think what they did was when they kidnapped him, they took the armor, but they also took Steve. I don't think he's in that.
No,
I
he
think
is. No, he is in there.
No, he's in
he is.
there.
He's in there?
She's
Oh,
yeah. Black Widow
Yeah.
says somebody's in the suit
oh.
in the episode. She's like, it seems like somebody's in there. So I'm like, how is this? Never mind.
Man,
I'm not even gonna.
how the fuck would that nigga have survived in a fucking suit? He should be
Cause like
bunked.
because the fact that they froze him, it's literally the
Oh
exact same
shit!
thing. Because they did that to Bucky Barnes. Like they kept putting him in hydrostasis or cryostasis, and
But like, even if he is the Winter Soldier, how the hell is that supposed to be a Winter Soldier? Does he just did they just like, drop him
Maybe.
in the middle of like combat instead of him being an assassin? He's just like a demolition man. Because
Demolition Man.
I don't know.
that would be
I mean,
that would make more sense. But even if he was a demolition man, wouldn't that make everybody know about him? Because that would mean like everywhere he goes, he just causes a big ass ruckus with his freaking suit.
that's what I'm saying. That's the thing that really makes no sense at all, because it's just like it makes me wonder, like, okay, what are the Starks doing? Because if they see a suit and they're like, man, my dad was missing some armor. Oh shit, that's him. Like,
Right.
you got it. Like, man, that's what I'm saying. You got to do world building and not put things in a 30-minute time slot and just think that's gonna be okay. Like, it doesn't work, because now
exactly
I have more
what
questions.
exactly what I told you. There wasn't any much story going on in this crap. There
But
was
I will
just
say
them
that
doing
is
stuff.
that is only what if's problem. Like, everything else as far as the other shows, like, Captain or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like that show was fine.
Oh
Like,
no, it was fine.
all like Loki, like that was fine. But when you're dealing with all these characters and you don't bother to make them like 45 minutes, or at least do some world building like that, it's lost. Like, that's the reason why I didn't like Ultron Vision, because of the fact that, like, you're trying to tell me that vibranium is gonna cut through Yuri metal and gonna just slice and dice Thanos like that. How did he kill Thor?
No, that's
Makes no
me.
sense.
I
He
mean,
gave him shock therapy.
that shit was funny. I'm not gonna lie. When Thanos came, I only think the reason he died was because he didn't expect that shit.
No, that's
That
just
shit
right.
was-
That's writing. That's bad writing right there.
That shit
Because
was funny as fuck.
this
Interesting.
nigga had the
Immediately
Soul
cut in
Stone,
half.
the Power Stone, the Time Stone. He had all the stones. This guy had all the time in the world. The only thing he did
Yeah,
have
but
was the Mind Stone. Like, you can't.
we like. I was talking to Izzy about this actually. Like, Ultron made Thanos look like a chump.
He
Basically,
did,
because
but
because
that's just because they
if
don't
you
want to.
look
They
at
don't
what
want to do the
Ultron
writing
did,
for it.
if you look what Ultron was able to do with those stones versus what Thanos was able to do, it's like Jesus Christ. It's
Yeah.
like fuck.
No, I mean, it's true. Like, they were able to show that, but it's just like, you can't tell me someone who has one Infinity Stone versus someone who has four. Like, realistically, they just did that for timing reason. Like, they didn't want to bother to do a fight because of the fact that they're like, oh well, we're just gonna make sure that Ultron got these stones as quickly as possible. Like, that's it. Because if not, Vision probably would have had a hard ass time, because there's absolutely no way this man didn't get put to butter. Like, he had the Reality Stone. How did he not use that?
I don't know.
He
Man.
should have
Like,
turned. He should have turned that laser beam into fondue.
told you guys that shit was crap, but I mean, I still like enjoyed it for what it was, which is just mindless freaking violence. But,
and
there
it's just
wasn't any.
it was just like basically just an anthology series. Like,
I,
that's
I,
all you can.
I'm just not. I'm just not gonna rate it high enough. It's gonna be a 3, and that's about it.
I would honestly recommend this if you were like drunk or something. Like, if you just wanted if you wanted to do the dishes and you're bored after like working like 9 hours of a day, and you're waiting on your Uber Eats, like, and just do something else while it's on, because like you're not missing anything.
That's true. All right, what else
Shit
are
ass
we
cartoon.
going about?
Um, well, okay, so like Dragon Ball Superhero had like their New York Comic Con. I don't even know like when Comic Con is supposed to like happen. I honestly thought it was during like the summertime, but
Uh, they do have multiple Comic Con. They have like San Diego Comic Con, and they also have like a New York Comic Con. So they
well,
have
I
like
mean
a
that's
bunch
what
of.
I mean. No, like San Diego, I think that happens in the summer, but like New York
Right.
Comic Con specifically is where Dragon Ball Super happened. Okay, so it's from October 7th to the 10th, which apparently is still going on. But so like the panel for Dragon Ball Super, the superhero, they revealed the
Yeah.
trailer for it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still not hyped for it. I don't like it. I don't like the CGI because of the fact that you're essentially gonna lose a lot of like fluidity, and we even saw that in the trailer reveal. Like, well, actually, did you guys see the trailer reveal?
Yeah, I
Is
didn't
that
like the look
is
of it,
that
man.
that old, like the old one that they showed eventually, or is it did they just?
It's like a 50-second. It's a 50-second reveal trailer, and like basically it's CGI. There are some moments that kind of look like it's hand drawn, but I'm just gonna put it like this: it looks like Dragon Ball Kakarot turned into a movie. The only difference
Uh,
is like these guys' mouths, their mouths actually move. Like that's about it. That's literally about it. Like you know how like in Budokai when like Cell would win or something, this man would have a full on like monologue and his mouth would be glued shut.
I guess that's a compliment that they get happy about right there. If like the mouth
That's
actually
literally the
moves.
only difference. That's the only difference. If not, no. Like it would be one for one. It would look like a Dragon Ball Raging Blast cinematic opener. Like and like the cool thing is okay, yeah. I talked about it how like if whether or not they're gonna explore some continuity, but we actually got a confirmation that Broly is in the movie because in
Yeah.
Goku's scene, if you like do a freeze frame, you get to see Goku training with Broly and Beerus' planet. Here I'm gonna try to play the.
I mean, it's finally good that they actually freaking made Broly not being like a freaking
Yeah,
mindless drone that just keep
Boon.
screaming around.
I mean, you know, I mean that's cool, but I mean that's like we got that in like the Broly movie, but I just wanted continuity. Like I just want them to be like, okay, there's a chance like this could be like a reestablished character, and you can bring him back in future movies. Like, but my main thing is just the fact that like I hate CGI in anime like that, unless it's like buildings or environments or mechs or something like that. These characters look fugly. These are some fugly looking characters right here. Like seeing like these guys talk in the car and stuff. Hang on, I gotta turn on the music real quick. Like seeing these guys like move and stuff is just so awkward. The frame rate is all weird. Like the only cool thing is that we get to see like Pan, I guess, train with Piccolo. At least that's assumed that she's training with Piccolo. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not interested
yeah.
in this at all. It's just like I don't know why Toriyama does this. I don't know why Toriyama's just like
I don't even think it's him. I think it's
I
fucking
mean,
Toy.
I
no
mean,
no no it
besides
is
It's
him.
besides
just
the
He
besides the
because
fact that he's printing like literally printing out money by shitting out any kind of Dragon Ball content,
no I
like
mean like
people would eat that shit out.
I mean they he said
they eat that shit out. What the fuck?
oh man.
It's Dragon Ball, man. People will
Yeah, he
eat it,
said
even
eat
if
that
it is
shit
shit.
up. You said it. Never mind. But no, I mean no. It was Toriyama who made that decision because of the fact that when they asked him in an interview, they were like, "Oh, like what was the decision to make it CG?" And he was just like, "Well, we brought this idea out here," and they're like, "Well, what do you want about like what about the Broly animators?" Because it was a whole team that was like a part of like the Broly movie, and he was like, "Yeah, their services were no longer needed."
Oh
So
my god.
I mean, I'm just saying
Oh,
that as like an
oh
over exaggeration, but that's basically what it was. He's basically just said, yeah, no, like they were good for the time, but you know we're on some new shit now, and we're just basically gonna make a CG movie, and
I mean, that's kind of like him just trying to flex his creative muscle though, because like he's basically all have done every kind of animation style with Dragon Ball. So slash Dragon Ball Z slash Super or whatnot, but with the series. So he's just trying something new and trying to
I
see how that falls. But
I get that, but it's
I don't
just
think
like you
people are gonna
had
like that.
such a good thing going because a lot of people complained about how Dragon Ball Super's animation style looked. It was not that good. And then when you introduce the Broly movie, people are like, "Yes, I love this style because it's the mix of your old style and the new style." And like now I'm looking at this trailer and like Goku has like pork like skin color, like yeah, his tone looks like his skin tone looks like the pork in my refrigerator that's defrosting right now. It's
Well, you know what's gonna be funny? Once once he actually does this and it comes out like before it even comes out, fans are giving him a feedback. He's not listening, and when it comes out, when people don't like it and start shitting on it, he has nobody else to blame but himself because
yeah,
he's
I
not
mean, but
listening to feedback.
that's the thing though. This is the thing that cracked me up though because when they had the question panels and stuff like that, these guys could not answer a single question whatsoever because they
Right,
asked
because they're trying to
they
be vague as fuck.
yeah they were and they were just being unhelpful with the questions because they asked when does this take place between the Majin Buu saga and the end of part of Dragon Ball Z? And this guy said, yes.
He said yes.
Yeah, he said yes. Uh, this takes place right after Dragon Ball Super Broly, and yes. And I was like, oh my, I was like, oh my god.
I don't know why people keep trying to figure out what point in the timeline that these
I
movies
don't
take place
understand
in.
what the
It's just
fuck
kind of
take
useless. It's kind of useless now.
It's not. I mean, it's not useless because they keep saying that Dragon Ball Super is in between End of Z because he keeps saying that End of Z is still canon, and it's a fair question to ask. When does this take place in point in time? Because a lot of people are trying to get the assumption that once End of Z happens, either two things are gonna happen: Goku and Vegeta are not gonna have Super Saiyan God, or B,
Right. So in essence, everything that you watch is kind of pointless.
pretty
So
much, and that's what people are
congratulations.
afraid of. Because guess what? If I find
I,
out that all that stuff is gone, bruh, we wasted 5 years with this shit. That
I
would be so
I don't
stupid.
know why you're saying we. I didn't waste 5 years on that shit. I always thought it was
No, I'm
shit to
talking about
begin with.
me and
So
Beam. Me and Beam,
Yeah.
like when that shit first came out and we had our old channel, we were like, "Yo, this is the first time in years. It's basically been decades since there was like new Dragon Ball content." And then all of a sudden, they're gonna turn around and say, "Okay, Goku and Vegeta, they lost everything. They lost Ultra Instinct. They lost their house. No God form. Where Whis died. Beerus is asleep. Like." All that stuff is gone,
God.
and then we basically got to go back to Goku being a kid to get Super Saiyan 4. I'm not having it. Like, that's a waste of time.
Yeah,
That
would
would
be
be
crazy.
such a waste of time. But, like, these guys, I'm not gonna lie. And Beam, you remember when Ultimate Tenkaichi came out, right? And they asked the question whether or not Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta was
Oh
gonna be in
yeah.
there, and they fucking lied. And
Yeah.
yeah, they said the exact same thing. They're like, yeah, is Goku Super Saiyan 4 and Vegeta Super Saiyan 4 gonna be in there? They're like, yes. Thank you for playing. only only Gogeta showed up. Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Bro, these
That
people are
was
terrible at answering questions. Like, I get that you want to be as vague as possible, but please just say that this is gonna take place whenever. Like, we all know it's gonna take place after the granola arc.
right.
But like, just please say it so we can like move on and just accept when the movie's gonna come out. 'Cause at this point, it's just getting annoying. Like,
Yes.
yeah, no, dude literally said hi, and then like I was like, what? That's it? And like the guy was it was like a YouTuber. I think the guy was named Anime J AJ, and he was live streaming the event, and the guy was like, yeah, um. I could have swore it. Like he said, did he literally just say thank you for reading the manga and that was it? And I think that's basically what was gonna happen. But then like his people were like, yeah, no, say more, and he's like, oh, hi, yes, yeah, this stuff right here is happening because no,
bro,
it's
I
just
thought you, I thought you would get used to this shit by now. That's how Japanese people answer question. Like they literally just say yes, yes a lot, and then bow and tell you thank you for
Well,
watching
no,
that product and call it a day.
I've never watched like a panel, and the thing is though, it's like anime like that is not it's not very common for anime to be in New York Comic Con. This is like one of the first times. This is the reason why this movie is like supposed to be like so big that that's the reason why it's in Comic Con. Because other than that, it never happens.
I mean, it's like the reason it's happening now is because of the success of Demon Slayer in American like the Western theaters and shit. So
Uh,
like
maybe I don't. I like. Well, I don't know because like it is. Isn't that by Toei too?
because like even One Piece now when they make a One Piece movie and release it in the West, it actually does pretty well. So yeah,
Yeah, I
like
mean that's true, but it's just like
so now they're starting to have more panels to like engage with the Western audience and stuff.
yeah, it was hilarious because the audience and they were fans of Dragon Ball. They weren't enthusiastic about it at all. They seemed pretty bored with it, and then like the people that were there, it was such like poor communication on their part because they'd be answering questions and they'd be like, "Yeah, we're so excited!" Like you had Monica Rial or whatever her name is, the voice of Balma. She was there. She's like, "Yeah, we're so excited! Like, oh, this movie's so great!" And then people are like, "Woo, yeah!" Like they're trying to make it all like,
Uh,
"Yeah, we got one other big announcement," and then the people that are doing the live stream like, "Oh, they got something else." They're like, "Yeah, we got one more big announcement. We're doing selfies." The guy said, "Oh, fuck off." I'm not gonna lie,
that's what happened when you
it
try
was
to
a
be your.
bad panel. It
That's what
was,
happened when you try to be your own hype person.
What the
That doesn't
fuck?
work.
We got one more announcement. We're
yeah,
doing something.
yeah. He said we're
Don't be
doing
your
group
own hype person.
selfies.
That does not work.
Oh
I
my
said,
god.
"Aw." I said, "Aw." I said, "That's
Oh,
bad." I said,
what?
"That's a terrible panel right there."
What the fuck? Holy
Yeah.
shit.
You're trying to be that own hype person. That does not work, my guy.
I mean, like, that's the panels do that all the time. Like when I used to go to PAX and stuff, we had I went to like Just Cause. I went to like the Just Cause 4 panel before the game was being out, and we had the guy from IGN, Greg Miller, show up. This guy tried
Oh,
to be his hype man. This nigga is not funny whatsoever. He just looks
yeah.
like a guy from IT that just like happened to have gotten a really good job, and he was trying to crack all these jokes, and people were just like, "Shut the fuck up! Like, we want to see the game."
Oh
Like
my
I just think it's just a
gosh.
common thing with panels because a lot of these people aren't really entertainers like that. They're news journalists. So
Not ever in lands.
no, I don't think anything's ever gonna land because they're not entertaining. Like their job is not to entertain people. Like it's just to give out information. Like if they were entertainers like YouTubers and stuff like that, where they can like give out jokes and entertain people, then it'd be a lot more successful. But these guys are over here probably got their jokes written out and thinking like, okay, this is gonna land, this is gonna land, and they're like, fuck, it fell. Like I just think it's like that. Like I said, these guys aren't entertainers. But yeah, I guess whenever that movie comes out, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna pirate it. I'm gonna pirate it. Like I'm not looking forward to that movie.
I am.
Actually, you are.
I'm looking forward to tell you guys how terrible it is because I know it's gonna be freaking awful.
I mean, it's
You
supposedly
say
they're bringing
you
back
say
the
that
Red
for
Ribbon Army, so I mean,
I
there's
mean, my expectation for a lot of stuff is always low, so I rather like my expectation is low than it surprises me than me having a friggin' high hopes of shit and it disappoints me because that
bro.
would
You
just
said
piss
you
me
don't
off.
like Dragon Ball anyways, so it's like the fact that this is
Yeah.
gonna.
I didn't say I don't like Dragon Ball. I just say I'm not over the top Dragon Ball fan
Oh, gotcha.
because like Dragon Ball is like one of the anime I grew up on, and it's not like I don't like it. It's just I'm not an over the top Dragon Ball fan because after like initially I was like all guns ho Dragon Balls like fan, but like when I started getting introduced to other animes and actually realized what good storytelling is, Dragon Ball just became that anime that is just me watching for something for just mindless violence and just get into the next punch section. Then
Yeah, I guess
actually
you're not
watch
wrong.
because like I didn't like I realized it early on that this is not an anime that actually tells story. It's just an anime that use story. I saw like a
Plot
waypoint to
as a
get to it.
device. Yeah.
I saw to get to somebody punching each other in the face, and I enjoy that for that because like most of the time when I even watch Dragon Ball, like back in the day, I watch it through like OVAs because I just enjoy like having a good beat in the background and watching these fights. Like it just flows very very well when I watch it. Like when I watch Dragon Ball like that, like most of the arcs because like. I'm not gonna lie, even though I strenuously put myself to like watching most of the Dragon Ball arcs, that shit was fucking stupid. Where like most of the arcs, they would just keep talking the entire time. Then it's like, come back next week.
Yeah, yeah, like fucking freezing
That shit was
Goku
so fucking
talking
stupid.
for like the entire episode.
Yeah.
Like it was
It's
so
just,
fucking stupid.
That's the reason
yeah.
why I would say like if you haven't watched Dragon Ball, your best bet is to just watch Team 4 Star because the fact that you get the same amount of context in a quicker amount of
Right,
time
with
and the same
at least with more entertainment value in there
yeah.
Yeah,
No, I mean
I'm pretty sure that's how
because
not into
I
Dragon
want to
Ball
I want
X.
to put myself through that bullshit and rewatch Dragon Ball Kai, and they were going well with the flow. Like the flow was great for a bit. Then eventually they got to the Namek arc, and they just fucking went back to like original Dragon Ball Z, bro. Because thing, the entire reason they made Dragon Ball Kai was to like get rid of all the fillers that were in the original Dragon Ball Z
yeah.
and have it flow well. But nope, they fell back into the same old tropes, talking a lot and just have one fucking punch thrown and they just come
Well, I
back.
mean, they really couldn't. They really couldn't do anything else. It was basically, it was like you said, they just trimmed the fat. They weren't gonna add any additional content like that.
No, I wasn't there for the additional context. I was there for them to trim the freaking fat
No, I
and
know. I'm just saying, like
not
they weren't gonna.
drag it out.
Yeah, I know. Like
But they
they
kept
weren't
dragging
gonna
it out.
do that. They weren't gonna do that where it was like they're gonna add additional content or like cut things out. I agree with you. The Dragon Ball Z in general was not very story driven like that. And you are a trooper if you watched the original Dragon Ball Z with all the filler because that filler was ass. I remember the worst filler that I've watched had to have been when Gohan was training under Piccolo and somehow this nigga washed up ashore and found some orphans. Like that was one of the worst episodes I've watched.
The
It made
dinosaur
no
orphans.
sense. Yeah, no, because the fact I don't even remember. I don't even remember exactly what happened. Apparently, he was trying to go back home to his mom, or go back to Chi Chi. And I guess like Piccolo like took him to like another part of the like of Earth, and he tried to swim back, and he got caught in in like a little storm, and he just washed up ashore, and like some orphans came up and like poked him, and he woke up, and then I guess he like I guess pretty much learned how to fight or got better at building confidence as a warrior. But it's just like those things you just you don't need to watch like because it doesn't add anything like that. Like it was so boring. It was like one of the most boring things that you can watch as a Dragon Ball fan because like I said, these guys are not good at talking or having good storyline, dealing with emotion. These guys are emotionally inept.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why whenever these characters cry, I'm like, ugh, like that's weird.
Yeah, that is funny because I just remember like every time I just go back to laugh is like when Goku had to break it to them that Vegeta and had died, and then they thought Gohan died too, and Bulma and Chi Chi like were throwing a fit, and it's like, nigga, you have Dragon Balls, what the fuck are you crying for? Like honestly,
Yeah.
like it is pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. There are absolutely no stakes in Dragon Ball,
Well,
really.
I don't know. Not in Dragon Ball. I think they lost to Dragon Balls or something. I think Dende died,
Oh yeah, that's right.
so they
Yeah,
didn't
that is
have the
right.
Dragon Balls. Like there were stakes in Dragon Ball Z. It's just super they didn't have it like that. Cause
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
yeah, but Man, the worst one. I think the second worst one was probably like when they went to fake Namek. Like that was,
Oh, yeah. That was so fucking
no.
stupid.
The other worst. It kind of led to fake Namek. But when you mean to tell me that there is somehow a separate group of humans that were running away from Frieza, and
Oh, yeah.
they somehow thought that Krillin and Gohan were employees of Frieza, despite looking exactly like them. Like, how stupid are you? No wonder you lost your home planet, you idiot. Like, can't even decipher who friend or foe is. Like,
That's what made that shit so hilarious. The Team 4-star version when they're just like, yeah, everyone take your cyanide pills. And they're just like, no, he said we're not working for free. And then he's like, what happened? He's like, close your eyes. He said, why? Close your eyes.
because it made me think when I first watched it. It made me think that Frieza was humanoid or was human, because I was like, oh damn, like Frieza's like some emperor, like another version of like Vegeta, because that's just kind of what it seemed like. But no, this guy was a fucking yellow or a purple white gecko. Like, I don't know,
man. Oh, it's just funny, man.
so awful.
They could get away with it because why not, right?
I guess. I mean, back in the day when things came out, I think people just didn't really care, and you didn't have DVRs. So like whatever you managed to
Get on
watch, you just
TV.
got
Yeah, you get
you
on
just got
TV.
it.
It's what you get.
Yep.
Little go on in Italy, I guess. I don't know.
Go on in Italy. Oh man, that's funny.
Before we get into like I guess like the films and stuff, um, this Dave Chappelle thing, man, it got a lot of people's feathers ruffled, like
Yeah.
usual. Like Dave Chappelle, he's now known as a guy who just doesn't give a damn about what critics say about his comedy. I think whenever he came back as in his first Netflix show, I forgot what it was. Was it Bird Revelation and Equanimity or something like that?
I think so. And then Sticks and Stones was like later.
Yeah. Whenever he came back, he just became the face of comedian controversy. Like, and he's mostly criticized for like his commentary about the LGBT community and specifically like the trans community. And did he back down with this one? No.
Fuck no.
He doubled down even harder. And yeah, I don't want to say that he had a vendetta. I don't think he had a vendetta or a grudge like that. I just think that he was voicing his frustration for the past couple years about how the community has treated him, and he was opening discussion because I feel like Dave is kind of taking on this role that not a lot of people has the courage to do, and it's just have these uncomfortable conversations while at the same time making it funny.
Yeah, I agree.
And I mean the things that he talked about, and I have it like in my notes right here. He's talking about the baby. He talked about COVID, the black and gay struggle. I'm not sure if he's gonna retire. It kind of almost made it seem like he's about to do a temporary retire, because he says it's gonna be a minute before you see me again, and that made me sad.
Yeah,
that
probably just gonna go back to his house and just be chilling for a little while, and then
he has a
maybe
podcast,
in a couple of
so
years.
Yeah, he has.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, no, he has a podcast. It's been going on for like a minute.
I didn't know that.
That's just kind of the thing that people do now. Podcasts are gonna be oversaturated at some point. That's just gonna die down.
Yeah,
new thing. But
yeah.
No, like it was so funny because of the fact that he was talking about the baby. Like a lot of people were trying to see that as like him supporting the baby's actions for what he said in Florida.
No, he even said like that's what made that shit so funny is like he literally brings up the fact of how like how you get like how something is perceived basically. Like he was and you know what? He brought up that situation of baby that I totally forgot about. This nigga really did kill someone in a Walmart, dude.
I know. I looked that up. I said, what? And it was just like, it's crazy it's crazy the fact that it's crazy how people literally saw that as him supporting the baby when he kind of actually threw him under the bus because he said, "You guys think this is bad, but he's always been like this. He shot someone at Walmart in South Carolina, and no one saw that as a career-ending thing. But the second he said that statement about gay people, then I guess that's the the nail in the coffin right there. And he's not really talking about the comparison. It's just the fact that the hypocrisy behind it, as far as like what happens, like the actions that these celebrities do, like the things that they do in their career. A lot of people
Right.
just didn't understand that at all, and it's just kind of weird. And I think I told the guys before we started, I think Dave Chappelle at this point has basically kind of dropped the comedian kind of approach and has basically been like a storyteller and a commentator and then like a ranter in his specials. We didn't see this guy smoke once in this right here. He was not. I don't feel like he was having a good time. Every time Dave Chappelle smokes, he's about to be riffing, and you're gonna be like laughing.
Yeah, because I should watch that shit maybe because yeah, it had a lot more even yeah, it just had a lot more serious tone to it, and then especially like when he got towards the end where he was telling that story,
Yeah,
and it was just,
the story
yeah,
was rough, and like I don't like to go on Twitter because of the fact that people on Twitter, you guys fucking suck because you don't understand context whatsoever. You pass judgment on things that you haven't even watched because I see on people who are like, man, this is classic Dave Chappelle right here. Of course he's being transphobic, and people are like, well, did you watch it? They're like, fuck no, I didn't watch it. I just know he's an asshole. And it's just like you can't do that. Like you can't do something like that where you're like, man, this right here is he's a shitty person, but don't watch a single thing that he's done. Like it's
yeah,
I
no,
mean,
that
that
takes
is what
snippets.
people on social media does, though.
No, I know
Yeah,
that
you
they
are
do that, but they look stupid, and it's the reason why people don't take you serious. And that's kind of the thing that I feel like he talks about. It's just that his biggest thing to take away from his special is empathy, because he had a friend who was part of the trans community, but she was also, I don't mean to see but she was also part of the comedian community. Like he said that she was part of his tribe, and when Sticks and Stones came out, everything went bad for this lady. Her name is Daphne Dorman, and she defended Dave Chappelle after the special came out, and then I guess 5 or 6 days after that, she ended up killing herself. And the only thing that he was basically saying was, I just want empathy, because people, even to this day, thinks that he's using Daphne as a shield to say, "Oh, I have a trans friend, and I can make these critiques." Honestly, I still think to this day everyone can be critiqued. You are not you are not absolved of critique whatsoever.
exactly. How can you claim you want equality and you're the first to like pretty much any sort of criticism or just even jokes? No one can make jokes about you, but it's okay when we get joked on though, right?
And
Come on, man.
that's the thing that's
Come
just
on.
like I feel like people
Like,
don't
fuck
understand
out
is
of here.
like when you go into a comedy club, the idea of like getting joked on is like a sense of like unity, because of the fact that it's a sense of understanding, and just the kind of the thing that I've noticed is like a lot of people seem to feel like whenever you're getting joked on, it's leading to this whole thing of, trans people getting killed on the streets and stuff like that. And I don't really find that to be true, because the thing is, it's like I've never heard anyone who's gotten killed due to a comedian's words. And it's just
Right.
like you hear these people say it all the time. Dave Chappelle said, "If you think what I say is a is okay for you to commit crimes against trans people, that's not you totally missed the mark." And
Right.
for him right here, he's saying all these things. He's trying to understand everything as it goes, because a lot of people just don't understand how much things have changed around the world the past 5 years since, actually, I'd say 6 years. God, Jesus. Since 2015, I feel like the world has kind of changed in just like a crazy way, where we have all these new sort of terminologies and terms. I told these guys I had no idea what the term's turf is. Izzy's gonna forget about that term in the past. In the next 30 minutes, he's not even gonna know what that term is. Do you even know what that term is, Izzy?
Your lawnmower, like
Exactly.
from
What?
front lawn.
Exactly. If you think that everyone is gonna understand what that term means, you are fooling yourself. You are absolutely fooling yourself, because
When
we
somebody
might
says
know.
turf, I always think about it in like a gangs kind of place. Like this is my turf right here, or like this is
No,
my
that's
location right here.
seriously what I thought about it too, because I remember and it's kind of like it dealt with like Tinder. Every time I would like look at people's profiles and I would swipe on them, I would see that term turf, and they're like, yeah, if you're a turf, then I don't swipe right. And I was like, damn, they got gang shit over here. I was like, what is this? Like, that's seriously what I thought, because I didn't know what that was. Like, I seriously didn't. And then when I found out that it meant trans exclusionary radical feminist, I was like, I still don't know what that shit is. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is that? And it's like, and like, I understand where Dave was coming from, because it's just like you get introduced to something so quickly, and then you're not given the chance to kind of learn from your mistakes. You're not gonna want to learn that.
Right.
That's like if me and Bean were in geometry, right? And we couldn't do a fucking parabola or understand what that was. And then our teacher over here slapped the papers off our desk and said, "You're a failure." Fuck no, we're not gonna want to learn that. We're gonna be like, man, this is bullshit.
Yeah, fuck.
You didn't even let me fail.
Yeah, no, seriously. And it's funny you even say that, because he, to further, solidify that point, he even brings up the thing with like J.K. Rowling, right? Where all she basically said was you know, uh when you're born, you can't deny, what you were born as. Not saying that you can't feel like you're something else. That's cool, but that's the whole conversation we had before off mic too, where it's just like, I don't know what's happening, man. It's just some strange stuff where it's like they're trying to like almost take away the female identity or something, and then like call them like people with breasts and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm
Yeah,
not really sure what's going on here, man. It's just weird.
and
Like,
it is a weird thing. He did talk about that too, because he's like, because he pretty much
But
packed everything that he said in his specials, and then just reiterated. What were you gonna say, Izzy?
no, but that's also like the back end right there, because if you're gonna be making such a big deal about something, if about something like this, right, and you don't give people a chance to learn how to address this situation, then what's the point of you making a big deal out of it? Then in essence, you're trying to just create a conflict and not trying to give people the chance
understand.
to understand each other, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
So,
Yeah,
Yep.
like, if he's like genuinely trying to learn how to approach people in this manner, like, give him a chance to learn and educate him instead of just constantly bashing the guy. That's not gonna help anything at all.
Exactly.
yeah. I don't think, because I honestly I don't think he's gonna learn it. He's gonna want to learn it, because of the fact that they don't give him the chance, and it's just, he, like I said, he said it. He's like, how long do I have to participate in your image, or participate in your self image? Because it does seem like they're taking over, and they're like changing all the terms and everything like that. And it's
Right.
like, to
And
be
you can
honest,
live your life being apologetic all the time. Then that isn't really like, how do you go about your life? Like every time you approach somebody, just like
they're
having
miserable.
a genuine conversation with them. Instead, now you always got to be apologetic all the time now, because you don't even know how to go about like talking to them like a regular human being.
Yeah, I
So
mean, it's it's
Yep.
it's a rough, it's really a rough thing, and it's just like I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't I don't like being referred as cis because it's just like they say it in such a condescending term or a condescending way that it's just like it makes me feel like I've done something, and it's just like I don't even know what that is. Like, why would you call me that? And they're like, oh, you're because I kind of bring it to like my school again because like my school was exactly that right there. Not to the extremes of Twitter, but it's
Uh,
just like
Twitter's like a cesspool of like nonsense. So
yeah,
yeah.
no, it's a
Yep.
cesspool of echo
So,
chambers. But it's like to a certain extent, my school was like that, where it's like they refer to people as like cis, and it's just like, look, I don't want to be called that. Like just use my terminology, and it's just like we get ignored, and they're like, yeah, this is the thing that we use, and it's just like, okay, I want to be referred as this right here, but you kind of ignore my situation. You kind of ignore my preferences in exchange for yours. Like you pretty much just you take away my self autonomy, myself. Gosh, I forgot the word. Is it autonomy? I'm not.
Anatomy.
No, it's not, no. I think I said it the second time, but you take that away from me, and you're like, okay, no, this is what you are, and like I'm not sure if it's just like a revenge thing because I think a lot of people, and not just in that community, I just think a lot of people in general act off of revenge.
no,
And
that's just basic human nature. People are always trying to get people back for something, even if it is
yeah,
like the
I
most
guess,
tiniest
but
bit of
it's just
it.
like again, and I don't want to compare it, and it's gonna probably sound like I'm comparing it, but like, do we as black people automatically try to see as revenge like all the time? No, we just kind of go on with our day. We're like, you know what, this nigga got me. I'm gonna take my L. Like,
No, that's the thing though. That's because most black people like in that situation have like constantly been getting used to like getting battered down so much that in the sense that they have developed more thick skin towards that shit. But it's not like they don't feel that shit. It's just like
yeah,
sometimes they
no,
just choose to ignore it now because it's just they look at it as like it is what it is and just move about their own business, you know. And
Right.
sometimes there are other people who will approach it differently with like more forceful pushback, but most of the times, like people always try to like go about their business because it is just something that has now become such a norm, you know.
Yeah.
and I
That's
mean, like,
exactly.
and that's kind of the question I wanted to ask you guys. Well, actually, I really don't know how to actually ask it, but it's just like, do you guys know what Oppression Olympics is?
No.
What?
Well, okay, so like Oppression Olympics is kind of like a thing, and it's a real term, but it's kind of like comparing the struggle of like one group to another, and people kind of they took Dave as an oppression Olympics pusher between the black and gay community, um, and I don't know, I don't really see it like that. He does bring up good points about it because essentially what he says is like, damn, you know, we fought for 400 years for freedom. We still don't even got that. But like y'all have all these things going for you, and it's just like I think what he's trying to say is like we can get shot, called the N word, but the second you get called a gay slur or something like that, you're done. And
Yeah.
and I think he's definitely speaking that for like the baby situation. Like we can get killed by the cops all day, get called the N word all the time, the hard R, but that's not nothing. But I just think that's the kind of thing that he does. But I don't know. I think to
But
point
like
back what Izzy says, I feel like a lot of people try to see themselves as victims, and you're not a victim all the time.
no, you really
Exactly.
are not. And
Exactly.
because now if you try to be the victim all the time, now like every time somebody approach you, you're never gonna get that genuine human interaction. You're always gonna get somebody like
Who
I
has to
mean
walk
like
eggshells? Yeah.
right.
With everything they say. Yeah.
And now you're not gonna know if somebody's being real with you or just acting because like let's face it, most of the time when people are around people, they're always acting anyway. But like
Yep.
you want like a genuine acting or just people just acting because now like hey this person like every time I try to like talk to them, they're always like taking whatever I say out of context or like instead of them educating me how to go about speaking these words. They're not going to educate me about it. They just straight up attack me and say, yeah, I'm attacking them. So like in a sense, like that's how people lose friends right there, and that's how people like wonder why other people are not trying to talk to them and whatnot.
I
Because
lost
like
friends like that.
yeah, because like you're pretty much not giving people a chance to understand you.
Right.
Like there's a way you could be confrontational about something and still educate somebody about it without actually like being mean about it. Because trust me, if you're like genuine and trying to educate somebody about stuff, they will understand you. Unless somebody's just an extra fucking dick and they don't want to listen. But like, if you actually want to educate somebody about it, people can like sense that feeling of you being genuine about stuff, and they will actually like listen and actually want to talk to you and try to meet you in the middle and so, to understand what your point of view of things are.
Right.
I'm
But
not gonna lie.
like,
When I was in school and I was trying to make friends, I was trying to make friends with everyone. Um, I'm not gonna lie. People, and it's not saying like it's a definite thing that happened, but I was able to make friends with a lot of people in a very different communities. But I'm not gonna lie, I had struggles with people who were in that community because I've always got met with dirty looks. It almost made me feel like I was in high school because every time I talk, I remember I went to like a friend's meeting because he was part of like a criminal justice group and stuff like that, and I would ask questions. I specifically remember there's people who identified as like non-binary and all that other stuff. They looked at me like I was like impeding on their turf or something like that, and like I was offending them, and I was like looking at them like, man, like what did I do? I specifically remember when I opened the door for someone because I was just being helpful. That's just the kind of guy that I was. I didn't get like a thank you or nothing. They just looked at me like I just kicked their door down. And it's weird. And like at that point right there when I was in school, because this happened like a couple years ago, I gave up and I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of trying to understand these kind of people, um, or this group of people because I'm trying to come off as genuine as possible, but I'm always met with hostility or passive aggressiveness, and
and
that's just not it.
but that's the thing
Yeah.
though. That's the thing though. You cannot just give up trying though, because now I know the feeling you're talking about, because now like every time you see somebody, since even though everybody's different, but because it's just has been like a continuous thing that you've been experiencing, whatever you meet somebody from that group of uh people, you always just assume like they're like the other like the people you have previously encountered, and that is also stuff that happens to black people too, because like when somebody have like one bad experience with anybody of a certain race, sometimes they just classified everybody of that race now as like that, as that one bad experience that they had.
Yeah,
So, and
Right.
that is the same situation going on right now with like Dave Chappelle and his situation and what he's going through.
right.
Even though he's not trying to be a bad person, but and trying to understand people, but nobody's giving him a chance to do that. They keep like always being hostile towards whatever he goes about saying and trying to even if he's trying to make even if he's trying to get understand the culture of how you go about like interacting with people who identify as different, but
Right.
they're not giving him a chance to understand them, because every time he tries, he just get messed with a big ass pushback. So that's why I guess he's just like trying to get that shit off his chest. Is like, yeah, fuck it, he's not gonna try anymore. I guess that's what he's going about and saying it.
Like
Because
Right.
what,
at
what's
some
the point,
points, you
right?
just gotta you just your stamina with some things just kind of run out. Like it's your
Right.
patience, it's all the other stuff, and it's just at least for me. And you said it multiple times. I think that might be your anthem, Izzy, because you said
What?
understanding and accepting of others, like truly understanding someone without passing off biased judgment. Because you're
Right.
right, happens all the time. Happened to me. Um, And the story that I have basically said is not just one example. It's happened in plenty different parts of my college life. Whenever it came to trying to introduce myself to other people of a different community, or introduce myself to that community in specifics, because everyone else, like I've never had problems with. I kid you not.
Right.
And like that's where I can understand where Dave Chappelle is coming from, is because of the fact that he tries to put forth the effort, and he gives people benefit of the doubt, but he's not met with that same energy.
Right.
See
So
that's why like I go about the way I interact with people and interact with people like I'm interacting with all humans. I don't really be seeing a lot of colors anyway.
yeah,
Because
I mean,
I would treat a black person the same way I would treat a white person and vice versa. But that that also becomes a point because like pretty much like I just think like all humans are capable of great good and also great evil. So like the fact that I think that way every time I interact with people, I always try to put my best foot forward, but I'm always trying to be careful of every kind of human that I interact with anyway. Because I just think like humans are the most unpredictable creatures anywhere on this damn planet. Animals are easier to interact with than humans.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Like, we understand, like, you're gonna, like, you'd be like that, but I just have a feeling if someone takes you out of context over here, my guy, they might harpoon you in the foot or something. Because like I don't know. It's just
And that is why I don't have a lot of friends, bro. I have
I
you
no, I get
guys,
that.
but
I get
Yeah,
that.
but
same for
I'm
me.
the same way, because like I said,
Same.
when I told you guys how like I
my
literally went
human
on a purge with people, like it.
my human interaction is limited to like something of where it is acquaintances and like people are co-workers and such. And every time I approach somebody, I try to treat them with respect because I expect them to treat me with respect. If that shit is not working, then I just cut that shit off and just say I will pass by you and say good morning and hi once in a while, but that's about it.
Exactly.
I
Yep.
mean, for me, I don't have emotional friendships like that. I've really like it's kind of a thing where it's like, the friends that I have right now, like, yeah, those are the ones
Yeah,
that
those
I'm
are
like,
people I
yeah,
keep right.
yeah, those are the ones that I keep. But like the ones who are like are trying to be friends, I don't have emotional ties to them at all, just because of the fact that like it's kind of messed up, but it's for my own preservation, because I'm not trying to get fucked up emotionally
Right?
because
Right.
someone wants to be like an asshole. Like, I've literally excuse me, literally dealt with that so many times. And like
Here.
I have plenty of stories from especially college recently where I was just like, damn, I thought we were friends, but I guess not. Like, nah,
people
absolutely
always
not.
people always like have like every time I know I keep saying that and I sound like a freaking broken record, but like people treat each other with like simple respect. This shit could go a long way, but we all know people don't
I just
treat
think
each other
people need
with
to
fucking
treat.
respect, man.
Honestly, I'm more about honesty. I'm more about honesty. Maybe honesty is can kind of relate to with
Oh,
respect, but it's just like I want honesty. I want more so
I don't.
honesty than respect, than like that, if that
Well,
makes sense.
I mean, yeah, there's a like I think like when I say respect, I think like honesty is also like is involved in respect anyway. But like
Yeah.
on well, like when I say respect, I don't care. Like you could be like the most shittiest person out there, where you want to backstab everybody. But like if you want to backstab a person, that's the kind of character you are. Just be fucking respectful about it. I don't give a shit if you want to be like the most awful person out there. Yeah, like that's what they have law enforcement for. That's their job to enforce the law of you being like a freaking horrible person.
I don't know if you can
But
respectfully stab someone in
but
the back. They're like, "Hey, heads
oh,
up!
you
I'm
trust me,
about to fuck you over."
you can respectfully stab somebody in the back. You can respectfully do a lot of stuff.
Well, I
Cause
mean, like,
like
I feel like if you respectfully stab someone in the back, or if you're trying to be respectful, you would just be like, you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. It's just not cool. Like, like, whatever
right,
we got going on. Like, I wouldn't qualify as that stabbing someone in the back. I just think that's just being
but yeah,
respectful in general.
you're being respectful and telling them like this shit is not working. So once if they cannot learn from that sign that you was throwing out there, like this shit is not working, right? And you like they get stabbed in the back in the future, even after you already like respectfully tell them like this shit isn't working, then it's that fault for not actually following the signs that you already like respectfully told that person, like, hey, like I'm a terrible person. Like back the fuck away from me.
I mean, but
But
that's in a perfect world, Izzy. Most terrible people hide their true nature if they're smart.
They do.
Honestly,
right. That is true.
and that
But
I say that shit.
but that just goes back to them like pretty much just being like straight up like disrespectful of people's in general. Even though like they will not show they are being disrespectful to you, but that's just pretty much them being disrespectful anyway.
Yeah, but like it always comes to the expense of you when it
Right.
happens, because it's just like the example. I guess the example that I had where I got backstabbed and it was just kind of, it was not done in a respectful way. Because like there's this one guy that I met in my first year of college, and we were like pretty cool, almost like pretty tight because we'd always hang out all the time. And like whenever I met my ex, like we honestly I met him, or when I met him I met her through his friends.
Right.
And like, you know, we were cool. Me and my ex broke up. I was still talking to him. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm about to, like, yeah, we're still cool and everything. Like we hung out and stuff like that. And it was at that one point where, like, you know, after you get done with the breakup, nigga, you don't want to do shit. You don't want to do
Right.
nothing. And understandably, I was like in a very fucked up mood at the time. And you know what? Like I lost a friend through that way too, because of the fact that I didn't want to play some disc golf. Because the fact that I literally had no energy to do shit, and this guy had an attitude, and I was like, you know what, fuck you. Um, but it was him who kind of like messed me up too, because the fact that at one point, you know, I wasn't like complaining to him, being like, man, why did this happen to me? I wasn't like that. I was just, you know, doing my own thing. But at some point, he was just like, yeah, um, I'm moving back over here to this area. Like, let me know if you want to hang, or we should hang out some point. I was like, yeah, and there are times I'd ask him, I'm like, hey, you want to hang out since you're in the area? He's like, oh, I'm doing something, Um, at one point, me and my ex got together, not like officially, but it was to a point where like we were pretty much roommates again. Very weird situation. These two know who it is, and
Yeah.
at one point I found out that they hung out.
Like in like that way, or
No, like well, at first he was like, hey, we should like watch a movie in a drive-in movie theater. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I remember I told her, I was like, no, like, I said, that's a little sus right there. And I was like, I know that we're not together, but you know, it's the whole bro code right there. To where I
yeah,
feel like everyone who should know, who's like in a friend group who has friends, should understand that there is a bro code. So where it's like, you know, if you know that person, unless you just get permission, even if you do get permission, it's just
yeah.
common knowledge that you just don't do that.
Yeah,
And
it's
the
not gonna. It's,
backstabbing happened where it's just like, you know what, I tried to hit him up all the time, be like, hey, we should hang out, and he was like, yeah, I'll let you know, but then decided to hang out with my ex instead. That's fucking whack behavior right there. That's not cool.
yeah.
Instead of just saying, hey, you know what, I'd rather just not continue this friendship at all. He just said, yeah, no, I just gonna try to hit her up on the side, and I was just like, yeah, okay, so we're done.
Yeah, that's a yikes.
And
Some
that's
disrespect.
people.
That's some
No, it is
disrespectful
disrespectful.
and trifling that shit right there.
Yep.
No, it is disrespectful, and that's what I'm saying. It's like that sort of honesty right there, and I don't know. It's just that stuff happens.
It doesn't always work. I got what you're going
Yeah.
with that. I know, but that's the thing in the ideal world. Like that's why I said like if people respect each other more, like we wouldn't be having a lot of the conflicts that humans go through right now. But that's just the ideal world. we already know we don't live in the most ideal world, do we?
Yeah,
Nope.
we live in a weird futuristic world, which I gotta tell you guys real quick, because um,
We live in a time variant. That's what I was saying.
Time variant.
I
Yeah.
don't know what's going on with this timeline, but like, I just want to tell you guys real quick. Like, when I went to Fred Meyer one time, because I was helping my mom move some stuff out of the storage, and then after that was done, I was like, hey, let's go to Fred Meyer, 'cause I need to get some butter and some milk or something. And go out there, all of a sudden I'm taking the cart out of the store, and I didn't hear the beep. But what happened was it ended up beeping, and the cart locked up. The wheels locked up and everything, and I just
Yep.
thought like the wheels were broken. I was like, "What the fuck?"
No,
And I was about to pick it up,
it
and the lady
has
was, I didn't know,
chips in the carts now
I
that
didn't even,
locks it up when.
and I didn't even, you can't even see
What?
it. You can't even
Yeah.
see it. I didn't even know, and I was like still trying to go, and the lady was like, hey, stop right there. And I was like, what the? I was like, what the fuck? Me and my mom were like, what the fuck?
Yep.
And they're like, yeah,
Sometimes
we need to see your
sometimes
receipt.
the little chip thing is like
Uh-huh.
apparent. It's like a super big red thing on the wheel of the cart, and sometimes it's not really noticeable. But yeah, they have
That's
those chips
that shit
in the
tripped
cart.
me
So
out, because I was like, yo, I was like, crime. If you were thinking about being a criminal in the year 2021, my
bad idea,
guy,
my
you
guy.
are 100 years too fucking
Stupid.
late. You are 100 years too late, because this shit right here is getting scary. I thought there was a guy that was on like the floor scrubber, you know, that little machine that's kind of like a Zamboni, but on
Right,
actual like linoleum.
right.
That shit was driving itself. I said, "Oh man!" I was like,
Yep.
I know
It's
the
kind of
Asian
like a
elderly
big ass
person.
robot vac, little
Yeah,
iRobot, but with for like Zamboni kind of shit looking thing.
but it was
Yep.
crazy because the fact that the shit still had a seat and a steering wheel. Because at first I thought it was like someone just jumped off of it and the thing was gonna crash.
Just rolling
The
by itself.
Yeah, but the thing was, well, because the thing is, like, I saw it had like a little elastic band tied to like one of the armrests to the steering wheel, and I was like, oh man, that thing's about to cause a mess. Next thing I know, that
This man
thing.
thought he was living in a movie or something where there's just random shit moving by itself.
No, that's what it was. I was like, man, this is about to cause an
Uh,
accident. But when I saw that thing do a perfect like right turn into the
Maneuver
next aisle, my mind was blown. I was like, I said, yo, I said, whoever had that
it.
job probably hates their life right now. Like,
Yep.
these people, we're about to get replaced by a machine where if you're in manual labor,
Oh my
you might as well
Yes.
as find something else. You better get into computers because you are breaking your back for nothing.
That's what I told you, man.
Wally's about to take your job, my guy.
That's what I told people. Like,
Yep.
if you're gonna be doing stuff, like, be the guy who learns how to fix the fucking machines that are about to take your job. Cause,
Yeah. It's getting
yep.
scary out here. You're about to be in a fucking walker at the age of 40. Meanwhile, you got the Xbox 720 power drilling into concrete. Like,
Instead of complaining that the machines are gonna take over your job, be the guy who learns how to operate the fucking machines or learn how to fucking fix the machines because those machines are gonna break down. It will need
yeah.
somebody to learn how to fix that shit. So I don't be the guy who can operate the machines or be the guy who could fix the machines. Still, still have a valuable skill set.
Right.
Still have the obsolete skill set of lifting shit because companies would rather have a machine do that work any day or night because those machines aren't complaining about taking bathroom breaks or trying to go in on the shitter.
Yeah.
They,
Oh, and like,
they could
the
just work 24/7 as long as they have the power to keep providing like energy to that machine. So yeah,
can't file workers comp for that, because you're
nope.
right. No one's You ain't gonna hear a robot being like, "Yeah, my spark plugs are sore." They're like, "Man, get the fuck out of here!" Like,
Spark plugs.
we're like, "Man, move this nigga
all they
right
gotta
here."
do is just lube your ass up and just
Yeah, they're
put
gonna
you
be like,
back on the
"Man."
assembly line.
The moment that shit happens, they're gonna be like, it's gonna end up like the Matrix. I remember watching the Animatrix because I never watched it before, and it was funny because
That movie
they
is
gave the
weird.
it is weird, but I like it. I like that anthology because like the robots were basically humans, and they wanted to get treated like humans, And kind of the reason why they took over, or the reason why they took over, is because of the fact that they were denied the same rights as human beings. And honestly, when that happened, I was like, yeah, you guys kind of deserved your genocide, because they literally tried in a very peaceful way. Like, I remember one of the guys, like one of the robots, they were like offering like an apple, and they knocked that shit out of the robot's hand. And they like pushed it out of the courthouse, and then about like 50 years later, when they took over, this is the most savage shit I've ever seen. They made these niggas sign a piece of paper to say that you guys are free, and then blew up the courthouse with everyone in it.
Oh
And they're like, yeah, they basically signed the paper.
they're
They
free.
said, yeah, they said
They're
y'all
free to go
are,
to the afterlife.
yeah, they said you are free from life, and then just say, yeah, and just gone. Everyone died. I was like, holy shit. But
God.
world's getting scary. World's getting hella scary.
Yeah.
That shit is crazy. Like,
That's why if you have the chance to read, be the guy who read everything, man. Don't
yeah,
just take
please
shit out
pay
of face
attention in
value.
school. Please pay attention, because that reading, that reading literacy, like, you're gonna need that whenever like
Yep.
Siri is walking down, like washing the scrubbers and stuff, and he malfunctions. Like,
A little bit of reading can get you a long way. And
get you
I
a very
remember
long
like
way.
when I was literally like in school, like I hated reading. I like doing math more than reading, but like now I found myself reading more than I even fucking do math, and I'm supposed to be a fucking engineer, bro. And that is even fucking hilarious. But I mean, it's not like I don't read technical books, but like I just find myself reading like more stories and like you know articles and stuff than actual like just doing actual math problem just because of fun or whatever. I mean, there are people who solve math problems for fun, but I'm not one of them. I actually solve technical problems for fun, not math problems. But you know, tots and totes.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, kids, read if you have the chance.
No, definitely.
Will take you a long way.
Definitely read. It's just a muscle that you need to exercise. Once you do that, you'll be fine. I was literally the same way. But I just wanted to touch on like the shows that I watched real quick. So like Boruto episode 2218 came out. Your favorite fox died. He evaporated in a puff of smoke. I kid you not. It was kind of sad. Like, I honestly expected the same dialogue from the manga, because the manga, when Kurama died in the manga, whoever wrote that shit deserves like a slap to the face, because everything that Naruto has basically went through and experienced with Kurama in the manga version, he basically summed it up to be like, well, you killed my mom and pa, so yeah, I guess I'll be seeing you when I'll be seeing you. And when he first said that, Kurama was just like, you bitch. Like, honestly, man, you are fucking whack. But in the anime version, he was like, they're actually reminiscing, because Kurama was just like, I lied to you. Like, I said that we'd be losing a life. I didn't say you'd be losing your life. And he was seeing Naruto as he was growing up. He like visioned Naruto as like a kid, and then the Shippuden, and then eventually to like the last version to now. And he's just like, yeah, you need to be careful, my guy, because this shit right here, it's just not going well for you after this, because you don't have
But
super strength.
that's the thing with anime and mangas, though. Like the mangas is always like, I think by now, like Kai and I has probably gotten used to it, like from watching One Piece and shit, because like One Piece, like sometimes they are super like Oda doesn't go into a lot of details about fucking like things in like the manga. So
Right, because
like
he
he
just doesn't
just
have the time.
right.
Yeah.
So he just leaves you to like wonder for a while, and obviously like the way how the internet is, like there's always like toxicity where people like have their own head canon about stuff. So like the anime always elaborate on more shit and go into more details, like you were saying with Kurama and Naruto.
I don't think it was
So
different details. I just think like the tone was different, because Naruto seemed like a dick in the manga version, and I don't think it
right,
was just like a different thing. And then, like, mind you, like Boruto, like Boruto is being written differently. Oh wait a minute, actually I don't know, because I wonder if if Kishimoto took over at that time. I honestly forgot, but if not, the writer was very different because Otis has been taken over since day one.
Right.
So like it makes sense for the mangas if you guys read.
But like sometimes in the manga, like he doesn't go into a lot of detailed explanation or not. Okay, let me say not detailed explanation. He doesn't go into a lot of detailed show.
Yeah.
He does more for tell than show. While the anime does more for show with a combination of tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes sense.
So like Boruto, like they did the like the show and tell why like the dialogue, so it just flowed better in that moment and kind of hits home because like that's the kind of shit because we grew up fucking watching Naruto and shit. So like from like when he was a kid and all the way up till like he became an adult, and that is something that we grew up with. So it's kind of like with Kurama dying like that, while he's like reminiscing about stuff. It kind of hits hard too, because like
It
we're
did.
we're kind of like seeing shit like from Kurama's eye and the way we grew up with Naruto and like they and to his current situation, so like that is kind of like
Yeah.
a sad moment right there.
Apparently he died the same day he died 20 years the day Naruto for the first episode of Naruto came out. Which made people go like, "Oh, my soul." But like if y'all see it cuz towards the ending, I knew the shit was gonna be a different episode because before they always do like the first like 30 seconds of a scene and then all of a sudden it cuts to the opener. Nope, straight opener, and then the ending right here is basically showing like the adventures between Naruto and Kurama, and then all the
Right.
other tail beasts looked up in the sky. That's Kurama just basically went to
Evaporating.
Shinobi heaven.
Heaven.
Yeah, because
Oh,
he had
man.
Shikaku just looking up, just like, damn, pour
That nigga's
40 out
gone.
for my 9-tail nigga. Like,
I swear, Chicago is like immortal, bro. You know how many times this nigga's gotten killed and he just somehow not fucking die?
well, it's
Like,
because of the fact that they've extracted him. Like the difference, because people are like trying to say like, oh, well, Kurama can come back, but that's not the case
no,
because
he's
the
dead.
Barian.
Kurama can't reincarnate, is what you're saying.
No, because
Not
the way
not
that
this not the way he died this time around. No,
no,
he
because
usually supposed to be able to reincarnate, but not the way he died this time. He
yeah,
pretty much
because
fucked up his entire essence.
chakra is like energy where it can be neither created nor destroyed. Well, Hagoromo created it, or no, Hagoromo took the chakra from
And
the
mold
ten
and
tails.
molded into something else.
Yeah, and he
Like
molded and he
it's
turned
kind of like
the separate tail
brick.
beast. Yeah, and whenever if they somehow die, they don't actually die because they're just basically living embodiments of chakra. So they basically can come back and reincarnate. But with the Barian mode, apparently, you're extinguishing your chakra because you're pretty much causing it to like boil to where it just dissipates. And like
Complete
that's why
zero.
yeah, that's what made Naruto so strong because he was pretty much a god. Like this guy was moving so fast that Sasuke's Renegon couldn't even keep up. And
Damn.
which I think is kind of stupid because of the fact it's supposed to be the strongest dojutsu in the damn series, but
I, bro,
that's neither here.
Diff nerf Sasuke so fucking much
Yeah,
that now it doesn't even make any sense anymore.
I know.
At this point, I just like
It's,
shake my head every time I see this man on screen.
yeah, and he was moving so damn fast, and because it was extinguishing chakra. If he made contact with you, he pretty much gave you chakra cancer to where all your chakra was being gone. Like he would basically just punch you, and you're like went from 50% to a 5% battery life, and it's just like it was crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, he was that powerful. But no, he's not coming back. Karama's never coming back. You'd have to literally take another tail beast.
Asshole. Right,
Yeah,
and mold him and try to create another Kurama, but you're not gonna create that exact Kurama because he's
Right,
not
you're
gonna
gonna
have
create.
that mind.
Yeah,
You could
this.
create another nine
Yeah,
tail
but
fox, but it's not gonna be
you're
Kurama.
gonna have to
but you would have to
fucking
basically
train.
create 8 other tail beasts at the same time, and that would just
I
be
mean,
dumb.
they already do have another ten tail beast anyway.
Yeah, but he's like an infant tailed,
Right.
ten tailed. So like it's
That's
different.
right.
I
So
don't know.
until he gains those infinite chakra and gets separated again, then
Yeah,
I guess he can have another.
yeah, I don't know. Sad episode, but Dame, did you watch Titans? Did you get a chance to watch Titans at all?
No, not yet. I should, because I have some time on my hands, honestly.
Yeah. Titans is kind of wrapping up closer to the season finale. Actually, I don't know when's the last episode. It might be episode 12. Right now it's on episode 10. It's very jacked up because Scarecrow turned the whole city of Gotham against the Titans because the Titans ended up accidentally, or at least Starfire she did. She accidentally blew up one of the water pipelines in like this in this little facility, and then Scarecrow was trying to put like a fear LSD toxin in there, but he was unsuccessful because this idiot tried to drill a hole into the pipe, but it was like I think like 12 feet of metal, like metal sheets blocking his way. But Starfire ended up
He didn't
blowing
have
it
the
up.
right drill.
No, yeah, he did it, and it was funny because he fucked up, and the guy was just like he like tried to drill, and then the drill like slid over, and he fell, and like Jason Todd was just like, yeah, fuck, and and then yeah, Starfire blew it up, so people had LSD fused water, and they were going crazy, and Scarecrow essentially turned Gotham against the Titans, and it was very messed up because Dick Grayson was about to whoop Jason Todd's ass, like he won, but then like a stupid kid had a pistol and he was shooting at him, and like Dick Grayson, he has like bulletproof armor, and at first he was just like, "Yo, just stop with that, please. Like it's not what you think. I'm not here to hurt you." And he turned
Right.
his back on the kid because at first the kid stopped. The kid shot him again, but he shot him in the neck, and so he was like bleeding out. And then when he fell, the group of people that were there just started stomping him out, and I was just like, oh,
Damn.
yeah, no, it was brutal. There's a reason why this show is rated NA. This guy got shot in the neck, and like in the part where like your ligament is at, where if you get shot there or you get cut, you basically you lose like some motor skills right there. I don't know how it works, but I just remember in like Taekwondo, if you ever got like hit in this part of your side of your neck, you have a chance to get knocked out. But yeah, he got shot there. He fell down. The people were just stomping his shit in. Uh, Jason Todd like ran, and the best up part is like Scarecrow knows who Bruce Wayne is because of Jason Todd, so he took over Wayne Manor and like
Oh
literally
man.
started playing TLC. He was playing water fountains or something, and he was just shaving his face. He said, "Oh, I'm having a jolly old time," and then he tried to he basically tried to combine his alter ego Scarecrow, or make his alter ego basically himself without actually involving a Scarecrow mask, and he couldn't do it. So he cut his face with like razors, and then I guess he overcame that psychic block. And then like when Jason came back, he said, "Oh, good, you don't have the mask. Well, that's a good idea because the mask are dead." And like this man's face looked like beef cutlets. Like this man's face was all
Ugh.
cut up. And I was like, Jesus Christ, show's rough.
Fucking scarecrow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Scarecrow
man.
is basically on the Joker shit right now.
I thought he did. I thought he was gonna do the Joker thing where he's gonna cut his face off, but no, he apparently didn't. He just turned that shit into like little slices.
That's the thing though. Like Scarecrow can be actually like he can be a pretty cool villain if given the
Yeah,
chance, but most of the
yeah, if
time
you
they don't
used
really give
right.
him the chance. Yeah.
Yeah, he can. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a good villain. It's just that I like this interpretation because he doesn't seem threatening. Like he's a chubby 30-year-old guy, and but he's just psychologically he's just insane, and he catches people off guard because like he ordered a pizza, right? And after he like ordered the pizza, the guy was he's just like, oh, he said, you know what, I left the pizza, I left my wallet upstairs, I'll be right back and I'll tip you big. And the guy was like, cool, okay. So he walked out of the hallway,
I can't believe
and
he fell for that shit.
I know the thing is like the fact he doesn't recognize that it says Wayne Manor, and he thinks Bruce Wayne, who's technically in this world like 60 years old. I don't know how it makes sense. This guy didn't do his background work, but Scarecrow walked out one side of the kitchen and then looped around, picked up a mallet, and the guy said, "Huh? Oh!" He took him to the back cave. He said, I can bring fear. I can do it without the mask. And yeah, that's basically just where he was struggling, and then he gutted him and stuff like that. But oh
Jesus.
man, you gotta watch it, Beam. I know you'd have a lot of laughs with it. You watched Star Wars Visions? Like, what did you think about that?
Yeah, I thought it was dope. My favorite episodes probably were Ninth Jedi, and then what was the other one's name? Lop and Ocha or some shit. I think those were my favorite ones, but I thought it was dope. I think Star Wars is yeah, Ocho and Lop, that's what it was. But I think Star Wars is a has potential to be great in the anime aspect, and it's cool to just see like so many different styles and like art styles and the way it was animated and shit. It was dope. I enjoyed it.
I remember the Ocho and Lop. I like that one too. It's just kind of weird. I guess I'm not used to a protagonist just kind of being like a furry. Like they've always been human.
Yeah, that one was
Nah,
a little.
I think it's just we're kind of used to that shit from One Piece. One Piece, there are a lot of like a
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah, I didn't even
Yeah,
think about. Yeah,
furry characters and
yeah.
races in One Piece.
it's kind of crazy because the fact that this character, um, she's 3D animated. She's not 2D. I didn't know that.
Which one? Which episode are you talking about?
Ocho and Lop.
Okay.
A lot of them kind of aren't 2D. Like the dual one, that one's 3D. I really liked the way that was done. It kind of looks like it's not, but it is. That was my favorite
Oh,
one. The Ninth Jedi was also like my favorite.
yeah, that one just. I don't know what it was, but the way it was animated, and then like the story, like you were telling me, right, that they said like if there's fan interest in like specific ones, like some of these can spin off into like, you know, it's like
Don't don't hold your breath.
their own things. I kind of hope some of them do, especially Night Jedi. I think that one because some of them felt like they ended with like a finality. Like there's not really a point in exploring that. And then there's ones like the Ninth Jedi or like Ocho and Lop where it's like that can continue on. Honestly,
Man,
Don't hold your breath for that shit happening.
I mean,
And
well, the
even
thing
and
is, it's
even
like
if it does,
Disney likes money. Disney
they
likes
like
yeah,
money, but even if it does, I don't think it's gonna be our social quality content.
Well, it's like that, at that point right there, you're not dealing with you're not going to be dealing with that you know Kathleen Kennedy kind of stuff right there because you'd have all that stuff be developed by the studio that made it. Um,
yeah, like
which
Trigger,
I
all
gotta
that.
see I gotta see who actually did that. Because I thought that was Studio Trigger who did that animation, but it's
Night Jedi. No, it wasn't. It was a different studio. I forget their name though.
but yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. Like it did feel like a continuation. It's like basically like a pilot. Like I remember I said it like the other week that it felt like it was like a pilot to a new TV show because honestly we have
yeah,
like no idea what's going on with like the live action stuff because when all that controversy came out with the Mandalorian and then there's like rumors that they were gonna cancel Ahsoka because of like
They haven't
Rosario
canceled that
Dawson.
yet.
Well, I mean, no, I don't think they have, just because of the fact that those claims were ridiculous. Because
Are they gonna
people are
fix that hair clip that she got?
no, they're not gonna do. I like see that's kind of the thing that like kind of irritates me with like some anime fans is like when they do like live action versions,
Try to
people gotta
make it like a
understand
top.
that some things are not practical.
yeah.
Like Ahsoka's hair things. The reason why it wasn't as long is because of the fact she couldn't move. Like they even said it. They're like originally her little tentacle things in her head was much longer, but when she couldn't move her lightsaber at all and do the combat, they're like we had to shorten it. Like the same thing it goes with Cowboy Bebop because people were complaining like, oh, why doesn't that one character wear a bikini and a bikini
Yeah,
bra?
all the time. Right. What the hell?
It's just like, okay, so you honestly think this chick right here is gonna do a front flip without her titties popping out, and it's just gonna be all right? Like
And
that stuff
that's
doesn't
funny
happen.
because once they make the One Piece anime, I wonder if that's how they're gonna try to dress Nami because like Nami didn't start out wearing like bikini until like later on
Yeah,
when
but
she drank
we
too
all
much
know
milk.
we all know why because
Right.
before she her and Robin because yeah everyone just got voluptuous over the fucking 2 year time scoop. So you know,
Yeah.
But like people, sometimes fans just have unrealistic expectations. Like
No, it
you
is
gotta
unrealistic
like.
expectation.
But in my opinion, with that Ahsoka stuff, I think they could have just did the little cardboard or what's that shit like? Use like a car one of those, like how they can like green screen stuff to it. They could have
Right.
just made a cardboard model of the green screen head or hand tile or whatever,
Just
and
have it be like
anime.
CG.
Yeah, CG or CG.
Yeah, but you gotta like understand like the budgeting stuff like that because you remember like when they
yeah,
did a horrible deep fake with Luke Skywalker,
yeah.
which
With
is like
Luke, that was
That's true.
that was so bad.
it was so
That's true.
bad that
It
people on
was
YouTube
so
did a much better job and so good of a job in fact that Disney actually hired them because they're like, damn, we got outclassed.
dry.
Yeah, like
That's
it's
awesome.
that crazy.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, no, it is pretty dope, but I don't know. That's kind of my gripe. I hate when anime fans be like, yeah, she can wear an outfit where her ass is eating up her G string. Like she can fight. Like nothing's gonna happen. No,
No.
you're stupid.
Yeah.
You're dumb as
That is
bricks.
stupid. That may work as an animation style, but come on.
It's because it's
Like
drawn that way.
get the fuck out of here. That shit doesn't work
Yeah,
in live
seriously.
action.
Yeah, it is. You are right, Izzy. Though, as low, like I mean, we pretty much agree that One Piece thing is probably gonna be shit. But I mean,
Did
it'll
they
be
ever tell
funny.
what the characters look like though?
Huh?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
You say what?
No, he asked if they have revealed the characters for One Piece.
No, they haven't released any live action character models yet.
But yeah,
I mean,
like,
whatever they look like, it's not gonna. It's still
not
going
gonna
to
be
be
good.
hilarious. It's not gonna be good looking.
Because it's just like One Piece is one of those things where like I just don't feel like we're just not there yet with like technology where that could be translated well.
Right. And can you imagine when they start introducing like the extrally like super large humans in One Piece where like even though they are humans, but like there's just for some reason these guys are like 10 foot tall for some reason.
Yeah,
like,
and One Piece just has a lot of like weird body shapes
right.
and stuff like that. So it's just not gonna work.
That's not gonna work.
It's not.
It's gonna. They already revealed what the characters look like.
They haven't cast anybody for those roles yet.
I'm seeing on unless they did like a unless they're doing a like live stage acting because I'm seeing like some people got casted. I see like a Monkey D. Luffy's been casted, Nami's been casted.
Yeah, I don't think so, bro.
Unless that's like
they have like a live action One Piece like play.
Oh, never mind. That's the actual voice actors because I was looking at some. It must have been edited. Like the characters kind of look like their anime counterparts, but honestly, just so long as they're not white, like you can pull it off if they're Asian because like the way that their eyes look. Yeah, I feel like you can translate that well. I think that's like the biggest thing. I hate it
go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I hate it when they're like, "Oh man, this suburban kid from California can play Luffy." No, he can't.
What's gonna be funny? Like it's one of those shit because One Piece have a lot of black people in it, like a fuck ton of black people. So it's gonna be hilarious how they're gonna go about this shit.
I mean, they'll probably cast him as black unless they like do some weird shit and make him a fish or something.
Because
Do
like
some species swapping.
that's like a really like that has a lot of black characters. Like hell, even some of like the weird race like different races in there like you could tell like some of them like with the way their facial structure is they're like black in a sense.
Right.
Which is funny because like since we're talking about One Piece, Kai, have you seen that fucking have you seen like on Twitter what's going on with Zoro where like people have this shit going on and like saying this man is like racist or something?
What the
Wait,
fuck?
what?
Yeah, you haven't heard, bro?
No, what the fuck?
Bro, Twitter is gone crazy because like BDA started this nonsense where like it's funny though because like he started this shit where like he's pretty much like talking about Zoro's dark secret and like
What?
it just went out of control and now people are calling like Zoro is racist. But like just like if you search Zoro dark secret, you'll see what I'm talking about. But like it's gone crazy on Twitter. Like this shit is like create like an entire fucking like a shitstorm on Twitter because like that just shows you like every character that Zoro is fought. And it just turns out like every character that this man has fought is like being a black character.
That is such a huge. I don't know the character, but you know that's a huge stretch. Like how is everything involved? Let's say I got a dark secret. They're like, hey, this nigga's racist. This guy's racist right here. Like, bro,
like,
what?
This shit is so funny. Like it's been going on like crazy on Twitter, man. Like it's just been a shit show on Twitter. Like on social media, like it's just been like a shit show.
I'm sure BJ is laughing at
Oh
that,
my
so.
gosh! I swear, I feel like people just want racism to like die, so that that way they could be like, "Ha, you're right," and they're like, "Man, shut up!" Getting whipped in the face or
like,
some shit.
It is just hilarious because like I can't believe like the funny stuff, man. Like I was just looking at this shit and like people just start going back and bringing a bunch of different images just to correlate that argument of why Zoro is racist and other people try to like show the point why Zoro is not racist. Like this shit was so fucking. It was just funny to me, man.
Man, and that's what's crazy. Like, cause VDA, he's always like trolling.
Yeah, he trolls a lot, and that shit is
it's
fucking
just like, and
hilarious.
the fact that like people like take the bait is just so fucking.
Like the fact that like he was just like he didn't even realize how much that shit was gonna blow up until like that actually happened, and he was just like laughing his ass off because like he was like, yeah, like he literally said like, y'all know I was playing about this shit, but like the fact that everybody took it so seriously on Twitter is just hilarious.
Because you can't do that. You know you can't troll in the Twitter community because people somewhere around that area, someone's gonna take that shit as serious, and they're gonna they're gonna waste their life away trying to do research and then make just weird stretches and be like, see, this right here is why he's racist, and it's just gonna be him wearing like white socks or something. Like that's their only bit of proof.
It was just like funny, bro. Like somebody made an entire compilation of like people that this man has fought and defeated, and it was just like a long list of black people on there, and it was just like hilarious.
God,
like yes. I just couldn't stop laughing when I saw this shit. I'm like, why?
It's a good thing Zoro's not a real person, because if not, they would have assassinated this man. Like they would have bullied this man. They would have doxed him on his little pirate ship. Someone would have been rowing in a little canoe with a gun and just try to blast on him. Like,
yeah, it would have just been like, yeah, it would have been fucking hilarious. But like, people reach like with fantasy characters, like they reach way too far, man. Like they just make connection to shit that doesn't even exist.
I remember Actually, no, you're right. I was gonna say Boruto because people are trying to make the theory that Kawaki is Naruto or Boruto and Sarada's son from the
What the
future.
fuck?
Yeah, even this is like after they showed his origin story where he grew up in a shed and his father was abusive. They're like, yeah, no, you see, that's his adoptive dad who found him, and he somehow he for some reason found him, gave him a home, but treated him like shit. Like that's not actually he just got sent to the past, and it's just like, why the fuck would this guy actually? How would he do that? And he has no dojutsu whatsoever. And then on top of that, he can't even do ninjutsu. It's like he's like the furthest from their from their spawn because it's like this guy has just because the fact that their only connection is the fact this nigga has blonde and black hair. That's the only argument.
God.
That's the only thing they can say. That's like, oh, that's proof right there. It's just like clearly y'all just like y'all passed high school with
No,
the skin in
people
your
are just
teeth.
people reach with nonsense like that, man. It's
Yeah,
really
they
laughable.
do. It's hilarious. It's just like things that don't even make sense. They'll just make it up in their head. That's why it's just always so. It's just mind-boggling. Like I bring it up all the time, where people have certain ships in their mind, and it's just like, dog, like, where are you getting this context from?
And
Like, I'll never forget that one with Tokyo Ghoul, dude, where you had people really out here mad because Kaneki didn't get with Hide, even though it's been established they're best friends, and he's going to get with Toka since the beginning of the fucking series. Like, where did you get this mindset that, like, what? Where do you guys just like veer up? Like, oh yeah, because like, did you see how he held his hand right there? Yeah, 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 that's it right there. It's like, no,
and
no,
it's funny
no.
to us because like the idea of how just people take this just so seriously that it is just like it's really laughable, but like it's not
Yeah,
funny to them
yeah.
because you're laughing at them because
I don't
in
laugh at them.
essence they're actually serious about what they're actually serious about everything that they're saying, but
Yeah,
the
but that's
idea
their
that
fault for
you're looking at it from the
misinterpreting
outside is
because it's
just
just
not,
like,
yeah.
how that's your fault for seeing signs that's not there. That's the
Yeah,
same thing. That's the same thing whenever like people and I was gonna bring this up in the show on my block, but we don't really have a lot of time because we're already like reaching like 2 hours. But there's like a one quick scene where like this one of the main characters broke up with their girlfriend and he was seeing like signs. He was trying to see signs in the way that she was shopping for things because he was like, oh man, she's shopping for different tampons. Is that a sign? And it's just like his friend was like, no, she's just shopping. He's like, nah, nah. I think it's a sign, and that's literally what some people do. Is like they try to see signs and things. It's like, yeah, if Kaneki was crying, and they're like, yeah, Kaneki isn't actually crying for emotion. There's sexual frustration, and he just wants to fuck him. Like that's their fault. Like, man,
yeah.
It
stop
is
trying to
just
create this
laughable.
reality that's not actually there, nigga. You are not Madara. Like, you have no genjutsu. You can't do shit. What's there is there. You just gotta accept it.
Exactly. And you definitely shouldn't be fucking attacking the people that made the actual thing that you're fucking going like reading along or watching. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man?
Exactly.
Speaking of One Piece, like the chapter this week was bangers as hell, bro.
Yeah, it was pretty dope. It was pretty dope, man. We
Bro,
finally got to see Yamato's full delve through. We got some shit with Sanji.
Sanji, and
Yeah.
like always, we're talking about like the implication of what's going to happen after the arc, and damn, it's starting to take shape, man. Robin is about
Yeah,
to be in
dude.
some
I
mad
was like,
trouble after this arc.
when I was reading, I was like, oh fuck. Yeah. I was like, this is where
Right.
things are gonna get real bad because they're already targeting Robin now. So it's like shit, man.
And
Like, that's
Kai, you
bad.
remember we were talking
One
about this
into
shit where like when Luffy fights, he never leaves any energy in the tank to fight for future battles.
Right. So
And this is
so
one
what,
of that situation
yeah, what they're
because
gonna
now
do? Just wait till the very end after all this shit. Yeah,
Right.
yay!
Where everybody is like super tired and can't move anymore. Now who's gonna be able to there to put like protect Robin and shit? And that's what I'm talking about. Like that's why like people like don't realize when they see other characters fight where it seems like they're doing casual shit and not trying to go all out because they're always planning for the next battle. But Luffy doesn't fight that way. When he fights, he goes all out in the moment and just put everything he has in the fight. Then after that, he's just straight up beat up and he can't do nothing no more.
And then it's like gonna be the same shit for everyone else strong in the crew. Like minus maybe like the only person I think or people that could even remotely try to have some resistance is Jimbei because he didn't really get, all that fucked up from his fight. So
Right.
he can still he's probably like half fresh. Like he's probably not, all the way full, but and then you have I guess Carrot will be there and maybe that's about it because Zoro that nigga's gonna be down. This fight
Bro, I'm
not
a,
going
let me
to.
read you a comment that somebody put over here on Twitter, right? There are R in Zoro's name stands for racism. Notice how he's the only character in One Piece with an R in his name.
Oh,
Coincidence? I think not. I'm like, what?
you, that has to be, that has
Like
to be
people are just reaching for this nonsense, bro.
that has to be that has to be a joke. They can't be serious.
I don't know if people are taking this shit seriously or people are just going full blown with the trolling, but like it is just hilarious, man.
Like,
Oh man. Like people are just like losing their mind on the nonsense, man. Because like I'm looking at it right now, but legitly, like every character that Zoro has fought in every arc, Axe Hand Morgan, this man was black. Like the booger guy, he was black. Then Miss Wednesday or whatever with the big muscles, she was black. Mister One, black. Like this guy Skypea, black. And like almost like
wait, was Pika black?
Pico was black too. So
Oh,
like almost
what?
everybody that Zoro's fought is like black, and he just showed up, slice and dice them. So like, even Hody Jones was black, and what's his name? Horanzo, the fishman dude, who was if the octopus fishman dude, and Hachi was black too. So like, it just like, and let's just keep going on, bro. So,
That's just coincidence, though. Honestly, that's
so
just people just are
I mean,
crazy.
people are reaching with that shit, but it's just still hilarious though. Like, like the combination of black people that is been fighting.
That's
And
crazy.
like this
Why
man
did they
talking about,
switch
all right, why is a good amount of Zoro's opponent that he's ever defeated are black people? Like,
That's such a oh my gosh.
Yeah, and we don't even know is King black. I don't
King
even
is
know.
black. I mean, like he's got that typical black hair where it's like super slick, laid back. Because remember, like Tozaro also had that hair too, and Crocodile, he's black and he has that hair too. So people are over here
Crocodile?
assuming
Are you
like,
sure Crocodile's black? I thought
yeah,
he was first. I thought he was.
Crocodile is black, or maybe he's like uh Mexican or something. But no, I think he's black.
Huh.
Like it's just funny, man. Like the fact that they just keep trying to find a connection, like it's just hilarious. It's just a, it's a, why is there so much evidence that Zoro is racist? Like people are just like lost their mind on Twitter, bro.
That shit is so wild, man.
Oh,
We'd have to talk.
Wild.
We'd have to talk about it next week about people causing like fans causing
yeah,
problems for
creating connect,
creators.
right?
Yeah.
Trying to create connection where there isn't any connection.
Well, not that. I'm just saying like because we already talked about that. I'm just saying like go and bring examples of when fans got upset at the creators for like no reason.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Oh,
I think I
Yeah,
have a lot of those anyway.
we had to say that because I'll bring that. I'll bring it for Naruto and like some Dragon Ball Z stuff. But
Right,
um,
I got a lot of those.
yeah, I know next week because like I said, we're kind of running out of time. I kind of want to go into more of like On My Block because like it's on Netflix show. It's a really good show. Yeah, definitely watch that if you haven't. Season 4 came out October 5th. Don't download Windows 11 just yet. Just especially if you're a gamer,
Yeah,
there's some features that weren't officially put in there yet.
I
So
mean,
if you're an artist and if you're an artist and you're on time and you want a drag and drop feature, boy, say that shit for another time because that's not it.
I mean, you could tell them not to download it, but it's not like it's gonna be easy anyway. The amount of hoops that you have to go through to download that
Yeah,
shit is like it's like a scavenger hunt. So good luck trying to download Windows 11.
yeah. No,
Scavenger hunt.
that's another thing too because like my PC is only a year old and they're like, yeah, your PC doesn't meet the requirements, and I gotta enable this thing called a TMP, and I
Yep.
was like, not for me. I was
And
like,
after you enable the TMP in your BIOS, then you have to go over there and try to change your default storage. Like, yeah, good luck with that for
wait a
people
minute,
who are not computer savvy.
does that erase whatever storage is already on there? Because that sounds like you're formatting it.
It erases stuff that isn't like non-essential. But yeah, good luck letting your computer decide
That's very broad because
what's essential
non-essential.
and not essential for you.
Yeah, because non-essential could basically just be like, yeah, this file right here of all your important information data now gone because it's not essential. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
like some of the things they have on there is like, I mean, I haven't seen any data lost in my stuff, but again, the update wasn't really successful, so
Yeah, I know.
it
You say your shit just kept going on repeat.
yep, it kept
Oh,
looping back to the BIOS screen. So I just gave up and just wait till they iron out the process and make it more streamlined for our
I'm
upgrade.
actually gonna download it on my other computer. Just to try to see because I am curious about the UI setup. So I'm gonna do that, and I guess I could talk about it next week. But yeah, you guys have any closing thoughts?
Not at the moment.
Uh,
Oh, actually, I do. Walk with your head held up high, and don't let people get you down, man. Because there are gonna be people who want to get you down. Just don't let them.
Yeah.
true.
Also, there might be a little bit of audio issues because of the fact that some of the videos, some YouTube videos are playing in the background. So like I cut it out, but you might hear it. But that's basically it.
Right.
Okay. Well, you want me to end it or?
Yep.
All right, but yeah, this was the Kind of Bean Podcast, man. Episode 2 of season 2. Thank you for listening. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and we will obviously catch you guys later. Peace.
Yep. Peace.